and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of Hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of Hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling.
Wherever you go, you can listen to the news. You can swing with the blues on this wonderful, wonderful station. Just take a lively companion wherever you go. Take a portable radio. Take a portable radio.
Now, here comes the music.
Mostly we call it talking for the next 3 hours of your life, but it is musical to the ears of a few people out there, I'm sure. Hi, everybody. It's Clayton McKee alongside Kat Carlson, Marty Ryer, and Al Perkins. This is Studio C. It's the show on Q Talk America. We come to you live from Central Phoenix, Arizona, every Tuesday evening. And by golly, we are here again, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, we got Bear in the...
Bear. I haven't seen Bear Walker in the chat room in a long time.
He's on the YouTube with Bridget.
Oh, he is? Okay. Very cool. Well, hello, Bear. I know he's seemingly been traveling a lot. I've been watching on the Facebooks. He's here. He's there. He's going.
Places to be, things
I
to
believe
do.
it's Bear that I'm watching do that.
Yeah?
I know.
I don't
I'm
know.
pretty sure it is. Him, and then there's another friend of mine named Michael Brent. He's everywhere, all over. I don't know what the hell he's doing either, but people everywhere got things to do. Everybody's moving. Everybody's shaking.
Meow Cow's been busy, I'm sure, making us maps.
Oh, God. Why wouldn't you? Why
Well, duh.
we
Yeah.
need
Chief
maps.
As the
cartographer.
senior
Yeah.
cartographer, right?
He better be
Yes.
on that. You're welcome.
Of course, there's a lot going on. In fact, this is just for the record. This is the latest map we've been given. This was last week, and there's some updates to it. We'll figure it out yourself. You can look at that later if you want to, but we may have to
Your
discuss
name
it.
here, Virginia. Is it still blank?
There is a Santa Claus. Was there really?
Yeah.
Did it say your name here?
Either, yeah, Virginia's blank.
Oh well, what are we gonna do there?
We got to figure
Well,
that out.
someday when we meet Virginia.
It's okay.
Yeah, meet Virginia.
Me, Virginia. yeah. I
Oh,
like it.
hokey small.
Bear
about-
doesn't travel, but I am off and on, he says.
Oh well, that's good. At least you got part of that figured out.
There you go. I like it.
I did see a picture of you. Bear posted a picture, maybe it was earlier today or yesterday, of his cute little face just up there. But no, I think I'm confusing you with Michael Brent, who runs around and goes, "Oh my God, Joey,
Joey
from
from Canada!
Hokey smokes, Bullwinkle!
And
Look at that!
Look at
You
that.
must have docked the houseboat.
I'm saying.
Wow, Joey, what's up? We haven't
Hi.
heard or seen from you in a while. Did
We
you
have
just get
all-
the interwebs back going up there in the northern part of? I don't
That
know.
hamster just
Oh yeah, working.
Well,
gets cold
well,
in the wintertime.
There's my mom.
He
Hi,
is
Mom.
represented by Southern Ontario on there.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Remember the part that she was
Meow
trying to
Cow's
turn to
just
the
so
US?
good at that.
Yeah.
He's a delight.
Our
A delightful
cartographer.
in-home
Senior
cartographer.
cartographer.
Senior.
Senior
Well, yeah,
cartographer.
that's right. Out of all cartographers we have,
He's the most
the
senior.
most.
He's the most senior. Did we just call him old?
No.
we don't
Okay.
care.
No.
I just,
Oh, I don't
I'm-
think so.
I'm
Honestly,
just,
we don't care.
I'm just. And I'm pissing vinegar.
I was gonna try to.
But we're
Right.
gonna-
Is it a lesbian holiday?
I
What is
don't
it?
know.
You two are both kind of
I was just gonna
cantankerous.
say,
Well, we know that I'm not PMSing. Can't blame that.
Oh, true.
Oh,
That's
Daddy got
just
let
all
out of his igloo.
personality.
Oh,
What you signed up for?
What did you
Something
What
like
did you
this,
have to
that's
do to get
right,
out of
yeah.
that igloo, sir? I'd like to know. Private message me maybe on that one. Net so much in the chat room
Yeah,
for it.
because that'd be awkward.
Yeah, Bear and Drew are next week for their birthdays. Aaron is this week.
Very cool.
Drew is someone we haven't heard from in a long time either.
No, huh?
I do
He's-
still see him on the Facebooks
I do
doing
too.
whatever they're doing up
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're still probably trying to dig out, just like,
Yeah.
pour me out, Cal.
Oh,
Just-
I haven't seen his. I wonder if he still does his
Their podcast?
the podcast.
No.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think
webcast
so.
or whatever it was.
I think so. I don't. I
I used to find that quite funny, and I
And-
just kind of lost track. And God knows they're
Yeah.
like 3 hours shorter than ours. I don't know how.
How do you?
Well, maybe
find
you
the
just couldn't see it because it
time?
was so small.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if I'm not mistaken, their podcast was more like opened a beer, had a conversation while they finished the beer, end of podcast.
Yeah.
That-
Sometimes it was driving to get the beer.
Sometimes, right. Which
Well, we'd be podcast over.
sometimes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
Well, based on what you just stocked
What?
the
I've been here
fridge,
for half an hour.
It's
Appropriate.
it's a warm summer's day. Actually, it
Appropriate.
didn't hit 100 again today.
no, and it's not going to until Sunday.
I know.
Wow.
So, I mean, I just do
wonderful.
not want to hear about this later. Like, we have gotten away
Right.
with a lot.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
A whole
we're
lot.
getting away with a lot. We're gonna pay for it because
agree.
we always do.
Right.
Always, but
course.
But it is
we know
mid-May
that, yeah.
of pleasant weather.
Yeah.
We've had like two
And
miserable days.
I do believe, based on news reports that I've been seeing, haven't we've crested around the backside of all allergy stuff now, right? Aren't we pretty much cleared up?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I mean, you're not dead.
I don't know. All
at
we
the-
have to do is look at him.
Well, that's
really.
right. I'm using him
Yeah.
as a barometer for this
Yeah.
because they've been
Yeah,
saying
and
on the news that like we think we've crested, like we're over the hill, and now we're on the. Everybody's getting better.
And
Wow.
Monday.
His birthday is last week. He's over the hill.
Yeah.
Oh, see, look at that.
Wow.
Still older than me.
She's not too old.
Wow,
yet for
indeed.
puns.
Stab her. Just
I
stab her.
do have to say, whether it was just sheer exhaustion or like just dead after a long weekend, but I slept yesterday, like hard. I haven't had 8 hours of like not waking up to like sneeze and blow my nose and like just generally scream at the trees. In a long, it's been a long time since I
Wow.
got 8 good hours of sleep.
That's funny.
And it was delightful. I
Good.
was so rested I stayed on the couch.
I'm so rested. I decided to do nothing
Didn't
today.
move at all.
I think it's great. It's good
But
stuff.
I told people as I was getting off of work on Monday morning, I was like, "Fuck it, the creek can rise. I don't care what happens. I am going to bed and I am not getting up. Don't call me. Don't look for me." It explains me being single a lot.
A lot of it does. Yeah.
Yeah,
mean,
that's okay. That's okay.
Okay. There's some spelling of
see this
Virginia. I
link.
should put my glasses on so I can see it.
In the map.
Yeah, he just
Hang on.
updated the map.
Oh,
I
updated
love
the map.
updates.
Shit. Now I've got to get a new. Now I've got to update the new. Okay.
Virginia, I think it says.
Vagina.
Vagina. Oh, is it vagina? Western vagina.
Western.
I just
Further
love,
western vagina.
I just love that. Southern Ontario, good enough. Maps are hard.
Okay. Somebody have to
It is.
fire me the new picture of the map
Very, very
whenever you
funny
get it.
though.
Oh, and Oz has moved to Kansas where it belongs because
Oh,
she.
very nice.
she
Thank
was-
you.
That makes a lot
Yeah.
more sense because she was in
Yeah.
Wyoming, and I was like, what?
I didn't, and further western Wyoming at that,
Right,
I
you
don't-
know.
I
So
don't
I was
No, no.
like a little confused.
No, that's just straight up Idaho, but it's fine. So it's the link is in the chat room.
Oh, that's what you're gonna make me do. Okay.
I don't know what else to tell you.
Okay.
It's on imgur.
I'm here. I got it. I'm here. I'm here. Good enough maps are hard.
love
There's
it.
thinner Jersey. There's
Yeah,
newer Jersey.
New thinner Jersey.
Newer Jersey. New Jersey. Thinner Jersey.
Yep. Is that because they got rid of Chris Christie, or is he still there?
Oh no.
Oh.
No,
Oh,
he got
sorry.
he left
That
last
joke.
election, right? Didn't New Jersey get
Did
a
he?
Democratic governor?
Did they? I don't
I
remember.
think that's correct.
I feel
It's so difficult because when you turn on the TV, he's still there, and I don't
and then
understand why.
I don't know that there's anything truly exciting, but there's primaries in 4 states today, right? But NBC's not
didn't
paying
know.
close attention. One of them's Pennsylvania, which is like that biggie because they think that they can flip 10 of the 18 seats.
Oh,
So
wow.
I really thought MSNBC would be doing more about that.
Maybe they don't
I
want
think
to
it was.
jinx
Well, they were talking to Kornacki several times today.
Oh, they're just
I believe.
throwing to-
So I believe it's going to be this evening that they're
Okay.
going to be when polls close and results start rolling in.
They didn't
You
want
know-
to pull like a Wolf Blitzer and just talk about it all day.
Yeah, they.
No, they do that. Don't worry.
Oh no, they do get there, but today it wasn't all election all the time. They had
'Cause
other
I think-
shit to
yeah,
beat
'cause
up.
I think Pennsylvania was the only. I think it's the only big state that had primaries today.
Okay.
But I just love to see my boyfriend next to the screen.
Kornacki.
Yeah, he and I have a beautiful relationship. He stays in my TV.
You get along well.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand.
Okay, we're gonna delete.
Seems
the
like a
old
legit
map. I'm
relationship.
gonna use the new map.
Hi, Summer. Hi, Danielle.
My gosh, everybody! Holy cow! Everybody's in there. Our
It's
ratings are up for a
exciting.
show.
Rip
It
Taylor,
is.
everyone was there.
Everyone. It's exciting.
Best ratings ever.
Mostest.
Hi, ladies. Hi,
yeah.
gentlemen.
The
Okay.
best people, the best
Ever.
ratings.
Ever.
Okay, so here's the new map. Let me
Everything is
see if I
best.
can. Oh, wait, what? I didn't see this one. There's Clayton Country in the Missouri map. That's funny.
That's fantastic.
That's funny shit. Who fucking knows what this shit is?
And I was like, oh, and then
Like
go
this-
slightly to your right. Corn and bad abortion laws. Also,
Yes.
more corn.
Yeah, more corn. Further South Carolina. Oh, then here we can
I
see.
love Iowa crossed off.
Yeah.
I just think, fuck you.
Thinner, there's the thinner Jersey. All this. Now, where was
Oh, I love that it's Long Island. Thinner Jersey is Long Island.
Southern Ontario? Good enough. Joey, hope you
Maps are
enjoyed
hard.
that.
Maps are hard.
Hope you
Maps are
enjoyed
hard.
that, my dear friend.
Amina, hello.
Oh, I mean, hello. If you go,
This is
Oh,
fantastic.
Oh, wait, I forgot. Has Penis of America always been on it or not?
I think so.
yeah.
I forgot.
I think
Okay,
so.
That's fantastic.
got it.
Yep. That's just good shit.
That
And the
is-
moose.
Yeah,
Or the Mises,
Mises
as it
for
were.
Palin.
Yep.
Yeah, moose are smarter.
oh, speaking of that,
Yeah.
because I didn't write it down to talk about later. So,
Let's talk about it now.
David Letterman. My next guest needs no introduction.
Tina Fey.
Oh, have you watched that?
I have
I
not
haven't
yet, but
yet.
it's on my list to
I took
definitely
a nap
watch.
Really?
during the Tina Fey one.
It was really good.
Was it?
Because I hear that she calls him out about why he never had female,
Female
writers.
Oh, it doesn't really call him out.
Oh,
Just they have a
okay.
very
Asks.
honest conversation
Oh.
about it,
Okay. Interesting.
and he tries to laugh it off and say
I thought
like,
he did have a female writer, and that was a problem. Wasn't
Oh.
it? Wasn't that who he got accused of?
yeah, somebody somewhere.
But I thought that was a female writer.
He said he
May have been
didn't,
a producer.
He didn't
I don't know.
consciously.
I have no idea.
I don't
Yeah.
remember.
Okay.
He didn't consciously not have female writers. It's like it just never came up. And he's like, and I thought, well, why would they want to work on my horse and pony show? It comes out at 12:30. Tina says, we do.
Yeah.
Ah.
You had
You're
one of the
David
biggest
Letterman.
damn
Yeah,
shows, right?
Don't try self-deprecation for your reason for not hiring.
Yeah, because
females.
if I had to pick a late night show to do, I mean, back in the
Yeah,
day
yeah.
then,
Yeah.
I would be screw Leno,
Sure.
screw Conan. I'm
Yeah.
going directly for Letterman if I could,
Yeah.
Right.
because he was the.
He was
And I wish,
it,
I really wish I would have appreciated the humor more when I was younger.
Right.
So now I'm obviously I go back and I occasionally here I watch this and that or the other things that he did, but I didn't really get in that groove until later on.
Mm-hmm.
And there were other things that are funny that I didn't find funny back in the day that I now find more.
Right. Yeah, he was very acerbic and very, very dry. So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and and sometimes he crashed and burned. Like
Sure.
sometimes things just failed with guests because he didn't do that thing that made me hate Leno so much, where he spoon fed them every time,
right.
and somebody went backstage and was like, all right, what do you want to talk about? Come up with a story.
Mm-hmm.
So he can like softball to you. We've been on interesting vacations, just
Right.
because people don't know how to be talk show guests anymore, and
It's because they took the smoking and drinking out of them.
yeah,
right?
Letterman,
That's
Letterman,
true.
and celebrities just got dumber
Yeah.
and dumber.
Right.
Well, sure.
Yeah, but Letterman wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do the pre-interview.
Didn't talk to him at all.
No, I mean, no, he didn't have the producer. None of them talked to the guests for real. A producer went in and did the pre-interview and got that all set up.
Got the notes on the card.
Got the notes on the card already, and he wouldn't do it. And that's why sometimes those guests were so uncomfortable. And like Cher just called him a straight up asshole, but he wasn't prepared. He was like not really that familiar with your career. You have to tell me something about you.
Sure.
And it was always better to watch him because you had to work and be like, all right. And if you wanted to keep up with him, he wasn't throwing softballs. He made it really
Right.
tough. And Madonna said, Cher's right, you're an asshole. That was my favorite thing.
Well, and when he would fail, when he'd fail miserably, then he just kept it going.
Oh, yeah. And,
Like,
like
he
Oprah,
would-
Uma
he called
Oprah.
him- yeah, exactly.
He,
Yeah.
would- 'cause
He called
once-
himself out. He would just keep.
and then do it
Keep
to
going,
death. And it was
yeah.
so it became like that uncomfortable office humor that people are like, some people can't watch The Office at first because it's that uncomfortable humor. And you're like, no, like I don't want to watch. I don't want Squirm TV. I used to call it Squirm TV
Right.
because you're just
Sure.
like, oh no, stop
Stop
saying,
doing that.
stop
Right,
doing
right.
that, which was all Michael
Yeah.
Right.
whatever he was. That's
Yep.
all he
Michael
was.
Scott.
Michael Scott.
But Michael Scott, but it was so goddamn funny. And then the second time you watched it when
Right,
you weren't
'cause you're
squirming so
terribly
much,
uncomfortable.
right? You're like,
And you're
I
like-
can't watch this. This is awful.
Aaron watches that all the time.
Oh, it's the
Ernie
most
watches
charming
all
show.
The Office all
Oh.
the
It's a
time.
good. It's a good go-to.
I had not watched it.
I've never watched it.
And 7 years ago, started because that's what she'll put on before she goes to bed. And of course, I'm
good
not
choice.
falling asleep.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm sitting there watching it, and I would just burst out. Did he just what? What? No,
No.
he did not.
Yeah,
he
and-
could not have just said that. Oh, and you're right. You kind of squirm because you're thinking,
And then you'll think about it an hour later, and you're like, God damn, that was really
that was
funny.
funny.
Like just the
Because he's
stupid
so
shit that was.
awkward and so dumb.
And they had one season where they just couldn't find their footing without him, and then it got funny for the last two, and
Right.
like so sweet. Jim and Pam,
yeah.
just
Oh,
completely in love.
yeah.
Whatever his name is, John
Krasinski.
Krasinski can
Krasinski.
do no wrong. Like
Yep.
he is just golden because he'll always be Jim from because
Uh-huh.
he looked like Scranton, Pennsylvania,
Okay.
with the the ill-fitting shirt and the musty
Sure.
hair and
Sure.
20-some years old is in his
And the
big boy
looks,
clothes,
right,
that you
sure,
know he
sure.
doesn't wear anywhere but there, so it
Sure.
like doesn't quite fit right. He just looked it so perfectly.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
now enjoy it tremendously.
Yeah. But
and
so
I always feel like Michael Scott goes to say something, and I'm like,
Oh, Joel.
because I feel bad for him.
Oh.
Because I mean, really,
when the baby's
so
name is
sad.
Astrid.
He's like, I'm adopting. And Pam's like, really? And yeah, find me a Chinese child. I want this one. And he gives her a picture. Like, oh, no, you did not. An aunt. Hi, honey. Yeah,
Oh.
but no, you did
Yeah, but when
not just
when the
hand it.
girlfriend has the baby and he thinks the baby's name is
Yes.
Astrid for the whole
Oh my God,
episode and it's
hysterical.
Astrid.
Oh.
And they're all trying to not say Astrid, and they need her to say the name. And they're just trying to get around it. And when she says Astrid, they're all like, oh.
Yeah, it is. It's a very, very, very funny.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and that
So
just
good times. But watch that because that Tina Fey episode is terrific.
awesome. Yeah.
Kent Carlson.
Well, I was hopeful for the Tina Fey episode, but I was napping.
It's
I
available
turned
on
it
demand.
on.
Mm-hmm.
and sat on
It
the
takes me 2
couch,
times to get through Pod Save America or Love It or Leave It because I sleep.
Took a nap.
You've been busy.
T-shirts.
Not to softball you. Hey, what have you been doing? Where have you been
Oh,
on
yeah.
vacation?
Yeah.
No, but you've been busy. Pre-show, you were talking about it.
Many T-shirts are to
Menti.
be menti T-shirts are to be made this week
Yes.
and next week, and potentially the week after that.
Anything in particular?
So much T-shirts.
Or
I've got a couple of fundraising projects that we're working on. We've got a couple of the sexiest bartender
Okay.
contenders or competitor, whatever you call those people.
Contestants.
Well, you were one once. What did you call
Twice,
yourself?
I was one
Okay,
twice.
twice.
I called myself a dummy.
contestant?
Wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
No.
no, it's a very fun event, and everyone should do it once.
That-
No one should do it twice.
The year that Kyle
was
Ward,
the-
when he came out and won the talent thing.
In the
doing-
wheelchair,
in
didn't
the
he? Oh,
wheelchair,
good Lord.
where Tuesday almost lost him off the steps of the stage, singing. Oh, what is that goddamn song from that? From the
I don't know. I wasn't there.
It's from the.
Oh,
it's
Don't Cry Out Loud?
Don't
from
cry out
Josh-
loud.
yeah,
I
from-
was gonna say that, but I wasn't sure if that was it. It was.
I like he's ever seen Drop Dead Gorgeous, but he's
Yeah,
lived it in
right.
real
Well,
life so
everybody,
much.
because so many drag performers
Yeah.
have done it and seen things, but I had never heard of that scene before, ever.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to even think of it when he's sitting there in the tiara and the outfit in a fucking wheelchair. And she did. Tuesday, her name is Tuesday. She almost lost to the front wheels, went over the first step, and we're like, oh, fuck. And he kind of had to help her, but she got him back up.
That's hysterical.
That's
Yes.
fantastic.
Oh
Yeah.
my
We
gosh.
play this game where she doesn't know who I am. Who are you?
But anyway, so I've got a couple of those projects, and then I don't know, just a couple of orders. So I got some shirts that we're gonna make for the Value Theater.
I like it.
No,
Oh.
I figure I know who the tie-in with that is.
Sure, we do.
Yeah.
Sure, we do.
Who's
yeah,
that?
We've got
Cosette.
yeah, our friend
Nice.
Cozy.
Nice.
And what else? Somebody that's vying for Entertainer of the Year, I believe, had me make some shirts up.
No, okay.
Oh, just
Now,
a bunch
here's
of stuff.
Now I realize you're not the only source in the world for screen printing
Certainly
shirts. However, here's my curiosity with this.
Yes,
I'm
she
probably
is.
the nicest one.
Oh, by all means. But here's what I'm wondering. And I'm thrilled that people are flocking to you, but I don't know why other companies, when they do this, it seems like to work with you, it seems very easy. Like
Sure.
you're the person, you go through you figure it out. You know how to work a calendar, so you can do all it.
Here I am.
And it always seems like anybody else I've heard in the past that ever tried to get shirts done from wherever, it was just a fucking nightmare to get them done
Right.
from anybody. And I was like, I think we went through this years and years back. And it was the company I may have been out of Tempe. I mean, they've now sold and moved on, but still, it just seemed like it was an act of
And
Congress.
why? But yeah, why it was that difficult?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know, but I mean, I know that in general, like, I'm an oddity when it comes to my attitude towards service. You know what I mean? Just whether
Sure.
it's at the bar or it's the shirt company or whatever else I decide to do, like, my attitude towards service is an oddity in every industry.
To actually provide it.
So, right.
And follow
Take
through.
care about it and go out of my way and to do it cheerfully.
Follow through.
Right.
and-
Like,
Oh, cheerfully.
Almost had me.
Yeah.
I was on board. And
Yeah.
that
Swing
shit.
and a miss.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I this week. have
So when I
been-
joined the company,
listen, fuckers, just because I'm not nice to you all.
no,
that's
I meant
the
us,
point.
not you. You are
Oh,
cheerful.
well, not really. Oh.
Okay.
Not-
Well, I guess we weren't gonna let you have that one either.
Pass me another beer. That's what we're doing
Just
today.
kidding. Just kidding. Gosh. Anyway.
But yeah, so very, very busy. Shirts.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
How is child management going?
I don't remember what they look like.
Child management.
No, that's
She
not true.
puts
You know,
herself in timeout in the garage. She just closes the door and
Oh,
like,
that's-
oh no.
Mommy's going into timeout.
Yeah, that's
See you
right.
next Tuesday.
Yeah.
we're getting there. I'm about ready to move the shop into a different room in my house that has a door,
Okay.
and these people will never see me again.
Yeah.
The
'Cause you're
windows,
gonna build like an
These
exit out of the back.
people.
the windows,
like
the
that.
window's big enough. I could probably get in and out through the window if
There
I
you
had to. No, the children are lovely. Sunday was, of course, Mother's Day. I hope everyone
Right.
called their mother.
Right.
I
I
called.
went and saw mine.
Well,
Oh,
see,
wow.
I
I
didn't
was
just
sick.
call.
No.
I was sick as a dog. So
look at
happy
you going the
birthday,
extra
Mom and
mile.
Yeah,
Or
well,
happy
12
birthday.
miles, but whatever.
Happy Mother's Day, Mama Di, and Summer and Danny, and just the whole 9
Wow.
yards. But
Oh,
my bad.
my cousin Mike is tuned in. He's listening too.
Hi,
Hello,
Mike.
Michael.
Yes, happy Mother's Day. I don't think
Yeah,
I sent out
I-
Mother's Day text because I perhaps went out for a cocktail after work and then crawled
Oh,
into
good
bed.
for you.
Yeah.
I
Good
was
for you.
not feeling well, so I apologize for being thoughtless.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, not every Mother's Day can be a
And,
winner.
Well,
That's
my
right.
mom.
And
Now
a
this,
happy-
I enjoyed this. And I'm just gonna jump in because we're talking about Mother's Day. I got to Mom's house, and it was an oddity that Mom had. Her wallet and her sunglasses laying on the counter of the kitchen. I'm like, so I'm like, going somewhere, Mom? She's like, well, I thought because I'm out of white wine and potato chips that you could just run me up the store.
Ah.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
So we did that, and I offered to go in. She's like, no, I'm good. They know me here. And she just sashayed in, got her wine, got her stuff, got back in the vehicle, went back to the house. Happy Mother's Day.
Atta girl.
That's fantastic. That's great.
And then she reminded me, she's like, well, do you remember what we did last year? And I can't remember. I'm thinking we normally go to like a brunch somewhere. I didn't know. She's like, no, you were home in bed sick from food poisoning.
Oh,
Oh God.
Good memories.
there you go.
I
right?
had blocked it, but now I know it again.
Yeah.
Now it's
See?
back,
Yeah. I
back
got
like
good.
a vengeance.
That first day back from Mexico. I didn't get food poisoning in Mexico. Oh no. I got it from my own refrigerator.
Bad,
Jesus Christmas. That was rough.
bad, bad,
No
bad.
good.
Yeah,
Jesus Christmas.
not good stuff. Not good stuff.
Don't
Anyway.
recommend it.
No.
So anything else? We just kind of shit all over your segment.
That's good. No,
Yeah.
I think I'm fine. The
Very
end.
nice.
You're welcome. Marnie, what'd you do?
I went to prom.
Oh, I saw the picture. You and
Handsome couple.
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
I thought it was a scene from Facts of Life when I saw the picture.
Totally, yeah. Yeah, Joe and Blair. do
Exact-
prom.
well, I wasn't-
well, not Blair,
sure.
but
Yeah.
it's fine. Yeah, we did. We had a really nice time. We were chaperoning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I
And-
should hope so. Otherwise,
Well,
awkward.
going
Yeah.
back a day,
Who are these two
But-
40-something-year-old
right,
women at our
right.
prom?
Don't say that in front of Erin. She'll kill you.
Which part?
The 40-something.
Oh.
Sure.
I'm just saying, 38,
Oh.
39,
Oh,
39
she's
now.
not 40
Oh,
something
now
yet.
it's sensitive.
Yeah, now it's sensitive.
Now 40's like a threat.
That's exactly it.
I hate to tell you, Ernie, it's coming whether you want it to or not.
40's a white van in a parking
That's
garage
right.
now.
That's right. You want some candy?
Threatening.
Yeah.
Oh. No,
Every
wait,
time,
You don't
every
want to
time,
get too close.
every
Want some
time somebody says
candy?
white van in a parking lot, I just want to buy some speakers.
Right.
That's all.
Oh,
Sure.
That's how
Fair
they lure
point.
you in, and then bam, you're 40.
Bam.
That's right.
It's a lovely Kenwood stereo.
Damn it! I was supposed to stay away from the van.
What's a Daewoo speaker?
What does that mean?
They sound wonderful. I'll take them.
I'm sorry they don't match, but it was the deal I could get.
Woo.
Fell off
Yeah.
a truck
Day. Woo.
It fell off a truck.
and
Yeah,
right into
so
this
we,
van.
we had a nice
Yeah,
time. We
right.
went and we mocked children. I mocked children. I've never quite seen it. You know, you forget from whence you came, kind of because I'm sure when I went to prom in '87 and '88, that when I
You
did,
went to prom twice?
sure did. Why?
Junior and senior.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they can repeat that shit?
I didn't go to either one of them, but yeah,
No.
I understood that they had them 2 years, 2 separate years.
I went to senior prom.
Yeah. It
More
was-
for my sisters, and a friend needed a date. Her boyfriend was out of the country, out
Okay.
of the state. I don't know. Lived in Niagara Falls. There was
I
some
like-
story
Right. There was some background
from the Breakfast
to
Club,
that.
and the
Oh.
That's right.
it's always a big joke in Niagara Falls is because his girlfriend is from the Niagara Falls area.
Yeah.
Area, not specific.
Area.
Yeah,
Exactly.
not specific because he doesn't exist.
Right.
I caught
So,
on to that.
yeah.
Thanks.
So, anywho, I'm sure that there were people scantily clad, but I remember them being clad, and
Even back in the day,
yes, and
we all had shoulder
Hi,
pads.
Jenny.
I
yeah,
don't
well, God knows,
think-
and they're back because that's what was in my jacket. Because I'm telling you, I was gonna rip them out, and the woman was like, "You can't rip those out." I'm like, why not? The fuck do I need these things for? I look like a linebacker already.
But they slim you. Don't you remember
Oh.
Dynasty? Made you look like a tiny
well,
waist.
yeah,
Between
if
your
you already
shoulders
had
and
a
your
tiny
rack.
waist.
Yeah.
My
If
God,
you already,
built like Tony the Tiger.
Yeah.
They're great.
So,
But I don't remember short dresses at any formal dances
so
from my sister's era through mine. I don't remember anyone wearing anything short.
I would say to a degree.
So it was hard to be scantily clad when you couldn't see any leg.
No, because to a degree, because of the whole 84, 85 kind of Madonna, the short,
Right.
the shorter dress, all lace kind of thing.
Right, no one
and-
wore that to the prom.
Oh,
and-
they
yeah.
did. That I saw. But this was like we played bingo. As chaperones, you get to play kid bingo,
Uh-huh.
kind of.
Hand
And-
job under the bleachers.
Right, like what
Center
are,
square.
What are you catching?
That's just free.
What are you catching, people? That's the free space.
That's the free
That's
space.
the free space.
You
That's
can't.
right.
Yeah. You
Maybe-
can't wait on
maybe
that to
we
win. It's
shouldn't-
happening every
maybe
5
let's
seconds.
not do that while we're talking about the free space. But you know the awkward. If there was the time where you looked up and you're like awkward, or did you see too much? And it was when it was at the Children's Museum, and pretty kind of it was a great venue.
Where is the Children's Museum?
Right down on like 7th Street and Van Buren,
Okay.
south east corner.
Okay.
And so really it's a great venue, but they can only use the stairs, right? Going up and down. And they're like the grand staircase
Yeah.
kind of thing. So there are 3 levels that they let you be on in this place, but you have to use the stairs
Okay.
to get to them. And it was because they don't want them, kind of fucking in the elevator is what I'm assuming. And I'm just not kidding, because they are like, nope.
Yep. Close
Close
door.
no,
Start it.
Not gonna happen.
Rock. Fire it up. Free
no.
space.
That's right. And so this chick comes running up the stairs in heels. I still don't even know how she was pulling that up.
I'll show you later on.
But there
on,
you
her, on
go.
her tippy toes.
Love of God, I am just
Yeah.
how more people didn't biff it the whole time. I was hoping, but
It was on her bingo
oh
card.
God, I would have laughed and laughed after I made sure they
Hoop
were
skirt goes
okay,
over the
but
head.
I
We've
don't
all seen
care.
it.
Funny. Anyway, this chick
Out of
comes up
Salem.
and has a no. Jan Brewer wasn't there. Came running up the stairs and had this. It was a split that went up the. I feel like the skirt maybe turned when it was supposed to be on the side.
Splits are usually on the side.
I think so.
Oh.
And
But they're awfully convenient when they're in the
I'm
front.
Oh
saying,
yeah,
yeah.
there's a
but
time
not when you're
saver.
running up the stairs toward everyone that's right there, and I thought, oh, should someone say something?
Better than running downstairs towards them all.
No, because there were a lot of
only there was a
people- it
chaperone there.
Everything was there.
If only there was a lady
Oh
to
no!
help her.
I looked. No. I was fuck that. I was walking around with the little tiny scissors for all the guys because of their. Oh, that came out wrong. No. Hold on. Let me back that. Hold on.
Little nipper, you.
Yeah, come here, you little nipper snapper. Yeah,
hell was
you're
that?
not gonna fucking cause it.
That's not really how that works.
No,
not how any of
out
this
of their suit for their suit coats,
Okay.
because none of them know to cut the back.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, the split?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
None of them know that, and no one teaches them that.
Okay.
So last year I was beside myself.
Leave it to the lesbian to teach
Uh-huh.
the men how to wear a suit.
I'm saying
Good work.
I was beside myself because I was like, what? Why isn't someone needs to tell that? Oh my God. And he was trying so hard, this guy last year, to be so grown up and, and he just walked around looking like a dumbass in that thing. And I thought, somebody needs to tell him.
So
But I
this-
didn't have a scissors.
Okay.
So this year I brought one. And I made this guy that is like in charge of student government, whatever. He said, I've never paid attention to that before. And I'm like, yeah, at the beginning of the goddamn year, you need to be teaching these guys so that they can go to homecoming and prom and whatever and look sharp.
So is it fair to say that you are the suit snipper?
I am the suit snipper, which take that as you may. It's fine. I will go with that.
That's what they're gonna call us now. Suit snippers.
I'm good with that.
Lesbians with scissors.
So what happened at your prom, son? Well, there was a dyke there with
Yeah.
a pair of
You're
scissors
running
running around
around.
chasing guys.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Get over here.
Marnie the Moyle.
Oh, new name.
Oh, go figure.
That's
I like
Moyle.
it.
funny.
Hey, Moyle.
Moyle.
I like it. That's
I'm here
okay.
for the bris.
Come here. You're not gonna make any babies tonight, son.
Oh, for crying in the
Hmm.
bucket.
I'm here to cut the tip off someone's penis. How is that an okay thing to say when you walk through the door? Barbaric.
Barbaric.
I try to get people to not do that to their children. Just stop.
Yeah, you've
Stop
talked
it
about
now.
that before.
Soap and water.
Right.
Um,
That's it's harder to apply than you think.
yeah. I mean, I realize there's an age where the boys are not going to wash anything right anyway. So there's a good 4 or 5 years where the whole undercarriage is just going to smell. So just don't go near it.
It might be 10 years,
Yeah.
honestly. Because I feel like I'm 4 or 5 years into it already. It's not getting any better.
Yeah, it's a scissor sister.
You're a scissor sister. That's
Yeah,
Slightly.
pretty sure that's what
Nice,
it,
Joey.
Yeah.
Slightly
It's exactly right, sir.
No, nice,
well
you go.
played. You have been missed. I enjoy that. Oh.
Well, you
the
got
poor
out alive.
boys.
That's really all that matters. And so did all the kids.
Yeah, you don't know that.
What?
Okay.
Wow.
Now it's Friday the 13th
Yeah.
/ prom
I'm
night.
just saying. You
Yeah.
don't know.
Where's Billy?
One
We
of
don't
them
know.
pissed me
we
off.
can't say.
We can't
We
say.
can't say.
I don't know what's different about you this week, but I like it.
The homicidal lady
Yeah.
with the scissors.
Yes.
That's my favorite version of Marnie.
Marnie the Moyle.
That's my girl.
There's the Marnie I
There's
remember.
the Marnie I like to
God.
hang out with.
Just
What are you
let-
doing later? Let's go have a drink.
Just slightly left to
Let me get my
homicidal.
scissors.
Don't run. No running.
Don't
Yo,
run.
no
No
running.
running.
No.
Alfie boy.
Oh, well, mostly I worked. I picked up an extra shift, and let's see. Tuesday I drank before I got here.
You have to
Didn't
go
I?
back that far. We can just we can pick
Wednesday,
it, pick it
I-
up
I feel like
Wednesday.
you
Oh, Wednesday. I think I wrote that down. Wednesday I drank.
Sounds
Thursday,
new.
Friday, Saturday,
Sensing a
Sunday
pattern.
I worked. Monday I slept. And today I had a lovely lunch with a woman I used to work with many, many, many years ago at the Taco Bell. She worked back in the office for the franchise owner, and we became friends. She's from Brooklyn, and just a funny lady. We hit it off from the day we met, and she worked in the office behind. Just happened to be that those two things were in the same parking lot.
Okay.
And her birthday's the 13th or the 14th. I can't remember which. So we've always gotten together to celebrate our birthdays together. So we had lunch today, and it was fun. Drove up to God's last half acre and Thompson Peak, and who gives a shit?
Oh my
Oh, you
God.
passed my house.
Yeah.
Why? Where in the hell do you have to have this meeting, this
Well, I
lunch?
try to have it near her. Like her life's a little bit harder than mine.
Oh,
is.
okay.
So she's taking care of her. Well, taking care of her mom. Her mom's not ill or anything. Just her mom's 92 and a pain in the ass.
That happens.
So, so it's doctor's appointments and living
Okay.
with mom and catering to mom, who's very specific about her needs.
Okay.
So, but can't drive her doing.
Right.
She has to do everything. So it was a funny conversation, funny
And,
day.
and is she retired now? This woman, is she just taking care of her mom full time? Or
Yes, she retired a few years ago. Her and her husband are both retired. So.
I know maybe she was still working for a Taco Bell franchise.
Oh
Somewhere.
no, I feel like she left before I did, but I honestly don't remember anymore the sequence of events. But we've stayed in touch, and she came out here from New York, and it seemed any depression or dip in the economy we had, she just they were always aimed right at whatever career she was doing at the time. It kind of sucked.
Oh,
Oh.
The Symington thing in '88, there were 2 victims and she was one of them. Yeah,
No.
yeah, just stupid shit like that. But so much fun. So it's a shame we only really put the effort in once a year, but at least
Yeah,
we
but
see
maybe
each
at
if
other
least
you
you
then.
got
did it
that.
more,
Yeah.
maybe you'd be like, yeah, I don't like her very much.
Oh no, I used to work there, see her every
What
single
is
day.
wrong with me?
What
Yeah.
I'm
happened?
hateful.
I love this.
I'm
What
fucking
are you-
hateful.
She might just be awful.
What are you drinking?
I
Haterade?
hate juice.
Yeah,
Hate juice.
out of a camera lens.
I don't know. What is
So
wrong
good,
with
and then,
me?
you
I
know,
approve. No.
It was wonderful.
j'approve.
Yeah,
J'approve.
It was wonderful Friday with all the birthday wishes, and then Friday night into Saturday was one of the worst nights of work I think I've ever had.
Oh, no.
The last one that was that bad, I left for Hawaii the next morning, so there was definitely a different end
So
to
your
it.
actual birthday?
Yeah, the
Into
birthday.
into the next day?
Yeah, I think it was Friday into Saturday. Holy
Oh.
shit burgers. Yeah, it was Friday into Saturday, and then Saturday was okay. Oh my god, it was just nuts. And in the middle of it, I mean, the building was burning down. It was just awful. And somebody says, because there's a break room right in the right at the end of their semicircle pods, and on the other side of the semicircle there's a break room, and somebody had closed the door. And every once in a while, someone goes in and there's a little couch in there and lays down, turns on the light, takes their 30 minutes to
Take a little nap.
recharge.
Yeah.
Right.
So one of the girls that I was working with goes, "Oh, you got to come in the break room and see who's sleeping." I was like, "God, you motherfuckers! Who's laying down?" Right, I opened the door and they had a birthday cake going. So in the midst of the building burning down, they sang the fastest game song. You're supposed to sing "Happy Birthday" to you while you wash your hands.
Right,
Because
right.
twice through is how long you should wash your hands for, or some shit.
Right.
Oh my God, they had "Happy Birthday" to you out in 10 seconds. Blew out the candles, made my wish, got out back on the floor, with cake in hand, shoving it in my mouth. It was really charming.
You're a motherfucker.
I was so mad that somebody had decided
To nap.
in the middle of this fire to I'm gonna go lay down.
Oh.
I'll kill you myself. I'm gonna take your organs and put it in the sick person. So it was funny, and they were like, no, don't get mad. Nobody's in there.
No, we mean this night.
So that was
Oh.
that was very cute, and it was everything bunt cake. Is that what it's
Yes,
called?
everything-
Oh, raspberry
Everything
bunt
Bunt
cake.
cake. Yeah.
bunt or
Raspberry
something,
white
a
chocolate
bun-
with this
bun
icing.
cake?
Bunt.
Yeah.
Bunt.
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 Oh, it's a cake.
Cake.
Oh,
So,
so good. Well,
It
my
sounds
big fan.
good.
Yeah,
That
it
is
was
good.
delicious. It was delicious.
White
And
chocolate raspberries and
oh,
what color was the
congratulations to your sister Jenny. That's
some
fantastic.
some kind of icing that was just sugar.
Oh,
Sugar,
sure, it's all
butter,
sugar, right.
all the flavors were there.
Mhm.
And
I
we
love it.
ate it while running. It was just funny to see somebody with icing on the side of their mouth as they're like, "Okay,
we're coding
I'm
over
back.
here.
Yeah.
I got coffee and cake. I'm good. Got 2 more hours in me." And you
Sugar!
sugar.
Before the next round of sugar.
Yeah,
Right.
and that was the
Right.
night that came into a shit show. We had to go to another floor to find a shit show and bring the shit show to us. And about 10 o'clock, I looked at a coworker, my nose helping, and I'm like, "If I don't get coffee in me in the next 10 minutes,
Oh, no.
I'm gonna bite you." So one of us has to make this
Wow.
happen, biter or bitey, but somebody's going to make that coffee.
You have a coffee machine on your floor, right?
Right.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, it was just you couldn't leave your one foot. You just
Okay.
could not get to anything. And so finally it was okay, can everybody just hold their shit together so I can hit the one button on the Keurig? And then and it's terrible. I stand like right there at a patient's store and suck coffee through a straw like, okay, we're good.
Yeah, but this is a guy who just like chews on the coffee grounds anyway.
Find a vein. Find a vein.
And I'll be in an isolation gown in a room, and I'll just lean out and like get the straw in my mouth and like suck down half a cup.
You could totally just be like a nasty fucker and just pretend to chew.
I feel like you
put
need
that
a-
coffee in your.
I need like a Camelback.
Yeah,
that
you
has
do
the
actually.
straw.
That's
There's
true.
that, or
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's a terrific idea.
they hire they just hire someone on
That's a
every
good call.
floor that's like, you know, in a boxing ring, you've got the guy with the water bottle that's always good.
Yeah.
You just need somebody going around who
Don't
follows
they have a
the
fucking
nurses.
candy striper that can do that?
No, we don't have those anymore.
Damn it.
Oh, no.
Oh, but
HIPAA.
and they wouldn't work at night.
Oh.
But I
Fuckers.
Sons of bitches.
and those motherfuckers
Fucking
wouldn't work at
Selfish
night.
volunteers.
Yeah,
So
so
selfish,
goddamn
selfish
volunteers.
And you know,
volunteers.
little whores is what they are, because you know.
God damn.
Everybody shut up. Just let Marnie talk.
She's gonna call them whores in a second.
She's angry. That's all good.
Oh.
I'm not that angry. I'm just.
Would you like some popcorn?
No, I'm good.
I brought the party
Yeah,
size.
That
Party
party
size, I
size.
did
do
And
that.
you,
Yeah.
what'd you do? What'd you do?
Well, I helped her bring in the party-sized popcorn with a dolly.
Oh, there you
Really,
go.
no, I'm
Oh, did you bring a case?
Nice.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
No, it's a really big bag though. I tried to bring it in by
good luck.
myself.
I got all
Summer
excited that she had some
and
shipped here
Danny,
from
good luck.
Amazon that needed a hand truck.
Oh my
No,
gosh.
no, no.
Should we do that?
Oh my god.
I don't see the harm in it.
I don't either.
He's
No.
got all this storage
Hold up,
space now.
hold up the bag. Hold up the bag so we can see. This is the overhead shot. Look at the size of this bag of popcorn. It's
fantastic.
bigger than her head. Look at it.
Compared to my head.
It is.
It's bigger.
I would say like 1.5
Oh, wait, no,
or
here.
2.
This is a better shot. That's the better one.
That's the better shot.
Look at that. Look at how big
Yeah.
that bag of corn is.
That implies that she's got a really large head and you should be upset by anything. Look at my occipital lobe so clearly defined there.
Oh, don't even know what that is. My God.
Fair enough.
Everybody, does everybody have an occipital lobe? I hope.
You can really see owls though.
I
Prominent.
need a Snickers.
Prominent
Meow
lobe.
Cow says I need a Snickers.
Yeah.
There you go. Are you
Oh,
on one of
like
those
that
funny no
commercial.
sugar diets that aren't recommended?
Oh, those are not recommended. You know why?
Oh.
Because they
Have a
make you
Snickers.
angry.
That's
You're
Yeah.
kind of a bitch when you're hungry.
I'm waiting for that to be
All
just in
right.
one of those commercials.
Yeah.
Oh, I just love that. When, like,
Oh.
remember the commercial that Liza Minnelli was sitting in the front and she was like angry?
Yes.
Give her a Snickers.
My favorite was still Betty White.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, put her in, and she's all.
You're playing like my.
Yeah,
you're
playing like my grandma.
Oh,
That's what
Abe.
your girlfriend said.
Was it Abe Vigoda in one of those
Yes,
too?
yeah,
When he
same
was still
one.
alive?
The same
Same
one.
one.
Yep.
Yes. Same one. Oh my gosh.
I love it. Thanks,
Anywho,
Daddy.
just a week. The continued perfect job search is going on. A couple more contacts here and there. Interesting. Bootsy, who does a headhunting job for a living, she works for a company out of Chicago remotely, and all he does is reviews resumes all day long. And we had a conversation last week about it. He reviewed the resume that I had just done. And then he's like, oh, yeah, there's a couple things you need to fix. Never even thought about it. But he's like, you would be surprised at these little tiny things because not in this day and age, not as many humans are looking at them. It's all
Right.
OCR
It's algorithm,
scanning.
right.
Yeah.
And it's all, he goes, yeah, so this needs to all be fixed because it looks, and really it was just the tense of a couple of words. Whereas I was explaining in the resume what I had done previously, but I was doing it I was wording it as in I was actively doing it, not previously doing
Sure.
it.
Oh, I
And he's
gotcha.
like, in some cases, he goes, that'll totally, because it doesn't look like you've done that or you're done with it or something. So we went through, tweaked a little. We're working on a cover letter for some things. Contact Mark Howard, our friend from
Yep.
Fez and Rebar, got me in contact with two people rather prominent in the Valley. I didn't realize. One is a bigwig with Cock. The other one is owns Sierra Broadcasting here in town with multiple radio stations. So I'm in contact. Well, I haven't made contact with her yet, but with him I already have to figure out maybe some things with that avenue too. Because
Nice.
again, I really would like to be back in full
Is it
broadcast
that you
mode.
wanna live in a radio again?
Yeah,
Is that it?
very nice.
I understand.
Yeah.
I
Homesick.
understand.
You know they're not as
It's
roomy as they used to
homesick.
be.
No, they're
Yeah.
much smaller.
Compact.
Yeah.
Much smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or are
Really.
we
You're gonna have to
bigger?
downsize.
No, I want to live in the cloud.
I don't think Marty's gonna fit.
My cat Marty? No
I'm
fucking
gonna
way.
I almost fucking knocked her
Not
out of
you.
the goddamn
Wow.
chair. I'm
now,
not kidding.
now they're all bitchy.
I'm telling you right now, I almost
Wow.
knocked her out of a
I'm the
fucking
nice
chair.
one in this
Don't think
episode?
I did.
Currently.
Currently ranking first on the nice list.
I'm not fucking kidding. Cat almost got her ass.
Not
kicked
only is
right
that an
there.
alpha order, it's an order of niceness.
I honest to God, I
So-
can't wait to go back. Could somebody tell me the time on that so
And
that
then
I can
we'll
go
date
back to just
7:51.
see my face
I'm gonna
on
need
that?
another
'cause I'm
beer
like,
out of the Val
Yeah, that's-
Perkins Memorial fridge, please.
Yeah.
Get that.
Oh,
I know for
okay,
a
I've got
fact that
two
I was
things. I
like,
can't forget
uh,
two things.
And
Huh?
then the other thing that happened today,
What's the name of his cat?
I get that.
Marty.
I know your
Yeah,
damn name.
Fine. Well,
Not
not,
you.
anyone else does.
So the other thing was, and just an oddity, though, time to have done it. I was sitting here today prepping for the show, and my phone rings, and it's my neighbor across the street. Love her dearly, sweet woman. Take care of a lot. I've lived here 18 years. I take care of all kinds of things. She calls me, and she says, "Well, it's time." I'm like, "Okay, for what?" And she's like, "Well, it's time." She finally decided after many months of contemplating. She put one of her dogs down today because of a quality of life issue. So she says, so again, the woman is 74, 75 and has a boyfriend. I
Yeah.
don't. So
Yeah.
I'm like, so she's got game. He was coming to get her to take her to the nap service.
Right.
And she's like, was wondering if you had time to come over and maybe dig a grave. So this afternoon I went out and dug the grave for the dog,
That's sweet.
which I'm more of a cremation person with
Yeah,
it.
I would agree.
Because
I
I
agree.
don't like the idea of surprises later when you're, let's plant a tree here.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden
Oh,
you're
look,
like,
Fido thinks
I
that's
went
a
all
great
Pet
idea.
Cemetery. I'm like,
yeah.
what surprise are you
Yeah.
aiming for?
I've never seen that.
Wait,
so-
they actually come back to life?
No, I just don't want to have to, you stick a shovel in and you pull out, there's half a Fifi. Yeah, I don't need to do that. So,
Well,
Most
I
of the time,
mean,
people mark the graves and.
oh no,
Yeah, but not
there's
every-
like 7 dogs
Yeah.
over there. I have no fucking idea where any one of
Sure.
them. Well, I know where one is because I buried the one before earlier last year.
So you're her official grave digger, is what you're saying.
Only for these 2 dogs.
Yeah.
The rest of them
that's
have been.
your funeral.
Yeah.
I played in.
What happened to the
Mortician.
last grave digger is what I want to know.
Well, he died like 9 years ago.
Is he
Yeah.
in the
In your
backyard?
backyard, yeah.
No.
Yeah,
Oh
he
no.
literally
No,
died.
Bill was donated to science.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he keeled over.
Is that what we're calling it now?
That's what you think.
Oh, no, she is too. They're part of some plan that when they die, you call an 800 number and the company comes and just gets them. It's done. They've already donated their bodies to science. It's over.
Like Walt Disney.
Oh my god, I think Jose used to work for them. Incidentally.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're not being buried. But no, when her husband passed away, and these are the dogs that were still there, and we made the agreement of you can't get any more dogs. Like when these die,
Right.
no more dogs.
Yeah.
Because the deal is that when she passes, I take care of the remaining
Yeah.
dogs for the rest of their life.
No.
Yeah.
They're down to 1 dog now.
Yeah,
I'm like,
just these dogs that I can physically
Yeah.
see right
You
now.
you can't bring
If
any
you don't
more.
make the head count today, you
Yeah,
don't make the
you're out.
head count later.
No,
Right.
no.
That's so sad, though. My mom's last cat just had to be put down this last week, and she's beside herself about
Yeah.
it because she has been like 40 years of always having a cat in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Sad.
Maggie,
That's
my
sad.
the little black skinny Maggie, it runs around here all the time. She's been annoying as fuck lately. And when I came back after digging the grave over there,
Did you
and
tell her all about it? About the nap place?
well, she came.
Take her over there and show her the
Well,
hole.
she came in and she was all nagging at me and screaming and shit. And I'm like, I got a place for you.
Yeah.
I'm already
You see
thinking.
this shovel?
We can make this a spree.
I dug a big enough hole. 2 of you.
I used to do that when I had chihuahuas. I used to look at them and be like, there's a nice Chinese food restaurant down the street, fuckers.
Oh, come on.
I'll take you people. Don't think I won't mushu pork.
It's called tan fat.
Oh, that's great.
Better than white fat
Oh my
white.
So yeah, better than. Yes. So anywho, keep it on. I don't think there was any other wonderful thing. If I do, I'll get to it later. We'll
Like
figure
I
it out.
couldn't remember the
Yeah,
other
yeah.
thing that you said right after he was talking about the resume, but I had something on that too. But I'll think of it when I re-listen. But the resume, I have only done a resume one time because my
And that
job
was
out
to
of,
get on this show.
my yeah.
Yeah. And you're
My
still
job,
not getting
my
paid
job
shit.
out of high school was the first job, so there was nothing to put on there.
Right.
I got hired at Taco Bell because I knew somebody, so I just like walked in the door and they were like, Kenny got me this job. Sat for an interview, but I certainly didn't have a resume, and I was 19 years old. I worked at a store.
And a
Got the
bar.
job at Hilton because I was doing aerobics. The lady that taught the aerobics class
That's not
I
where I
was
thought
in.
that was going.
Yeah. The lady that taught the aerobics
No.
class was the HR lady for Hilton, and so she got me the
Oh.
job because I wanted a nighttime job. I got the job at the bar because I knew them, and the one of my teachers was the HR director for Good Sam, so she just got me into the interview. So I didn't do a resume till I was I was kind of between jobs. They had closed the one department I was in, so I went to Mayo, and I went online and just did the copy paste with the online resume. Didn't do the best job possible because the lady's reading the resume to me, and she says, "Oh, you graduated from this school." I'm like, "I went to a lot of colleges, but I didn't go to that one." I'm like, "What?" And then she reads it. It was like 1, 2, 3, any city, any state, USA. I had left whole parts of the blank resume
Any town, USA.
in there. It kept
Insert
coming up. So she had to ask me which parts were from the blank resume and which parts did I type in. And I was like, mostly things that are misspelled would be mine. Not all.
Did you get the
No,
job?
yes.
Oh, that's fantastic.
But then, and it was, so it was for Mayo Clinic, and their corporate, the Mayo Clinic is at like Tatum and like 55th Street or whatever that, or you know what I mean?
It's 56th
101
Street.
and 56th Street.
Yeah.
But their offices are over in Fountain Hills.
Oh, that
So
awful
I'm on
Mayo
that-
campus over there,
So
way
I'm on
out Shea
the
Boulevard.
long haul to Fountain Hills to take the drug test and fill out the paperwork because they had offered me the job, and then I get a call from the floor that I work on now, and the manager was like, "Somebody said you don't know that you got the job up here," and I was like, "No one's called me. Like I interviewed, but you didn't call me." She's like, "Oh Jesus, we just assumed you knew that we were hiring you." She's like, "That was just a formality." So we were joking so much through it. She's like, "It wasn't real."
Wow.
She's like, "You got recommended. We picked you up. Like, you start."
You've already missed
You're
2
late
shifts.
for your shift.
Like, what is going on? And I'm like, oh my God, I should probably go and take that drug test. Just, you know what I mean? Because otherwise they're going to think I didn't go to Mayo because I was going to fail the drug test. And so she was like, "So did you go to the drug test?" I'm like, "You know how far that is?"
It's far.
I just turned around. I was never going to keep that job anyways. Never gonna try to- Something in the house is killing me.
Oh my God.
That's fantastic.
Don't die.
No, please.
Or maybe do. I don't know how Marty feels about
yeah,
it.
Now,
depends
which
on
way
the
you wanna
day.
work on that? I
Right
don't
now,
know.
it's okay.
I'll check with Marty.
Yeah, right now it's okay. You can come
I
back.
can bring Marty in here. He can lay right there.
Damn. Fucking cat.
Oh my
No, I said I'll check
God.
with her to see what you know. What's am I gonna live or die? What am I allowed to
You
do?
were never
Did
sure.
we just
man.
go with thoughtful vulgarity?
No, huh?
That sounded like the beginning
No,
of.
somebody messaged me. I've got the audio
Oh.
up on. There's a lot going on over here too.
You're
So,
very busy.
we're-
Oh, it's gonna kill me when I listen back to find out what you said that I have to
I don't know what I
comment
said.
on.
I know you made eye contact and made a motion too. I don't
You
know what it was. You
and you.
was
Okay.
it- okay, I made a comment about resumes, how they're scanned. It's an OCR scan.
Yeah, and then she
And-
said something, and I lost it
God only knows what I
Well,
said.
because
We'll have to
then
figure it
Marty
out.
got mean again. And
Wow.
Well, let's
I
work
liked
on
it a
this.
lot.
Obsession. Are you obsessed? Is it keeping you up at night? Do you find yourself constantly making references only to be met with blank stares? Obsession. This segment is for you. Obsession. Whether it's musicals, mowers, Motown, Subarus, or Sondheim, it's time to share your obsession. Obsession. With the show with Clayton McKee.
Oh my! I'm sure we've all got a little something this week. I'm guessing.
Listen here and listen good, Shonda Rhimes. I have a Grey's Anatomy bone to pick with you. Fucking Shonda.
I love it.
Here's the thing.
they killed off somebody.
No, but the thing is, they didn't kill her. I'm so very upset. Right. I know, you heard it. I'm very upset. So I watched this whole episode. Spoilers are right here. So if you are worried about that and are that far behind on your Grey's Anatomy, I don't care. Skip ahead.
Yeah.
You've been warned. So we know that Arizona is leaving. She's going to New York. We're very sad about it, but happy for them because they're real people.
Or are they?
They are.
Okay.
I
all right,
promise. I
all right,
promise you.
all right.
Someday when I meet Sarah Ramirez,
Yeah.
you know what I'm going to say to her? I'm going to say to her, Dr. Torres, it's so nice to
I
meet
see,
you.
Right? You're just going to leave it at that. That's
Real
right.
people.
Right. Right.
Anyway, so Arizona's leaving. Then I sit down, as I do almost every Friday, to watch my Grey's Anatomy from the night before,
Right.
because I can't be behind. Because I
I
have
know.
to know. I have to know what my friends are doing.
Well, of course. They haven't called
Right.
you.
They haven't called me. I just
No.
have to watch
They
their
don't
show.
call, they don't write.
Assholes.
They
They still love me, and I
Sons
know
of
that they
bitches.
do.
Bitches.
So then, all of a sudden, it looks like, oh my God, they're gonna kill April Kepner. That's
I
amazing.
don't know who April Kipner
Doesn't-
is. Your
doesn't
friend.
matter.
She's
I
a
haven't
real
met your
person.
friend.
She's a real person
Yeah,
on the
I don't
show.
know your
It's
friend.
fine.
Okay.
It's fine. She's
All
been
right.
through a lot of things.
Just that.
She's been through a lot of
Making
things.
statement.
But my favorite way to write somebody off of a show is to give them a horrible death. Like, that's
Right.
what you should do,
Yeah, but you can't
especially
do
on
that.
Grey's Anatomy. You
Right.
have to do it. You have
No,
to.
because they're just gonna come back.
They killed Derek.
But did they?
They sure did.
How do you know?
Because I cried for 4 days over it. I watched the
good night,
funeral
ladies.
episode and was beside myself.
Good luck with the
Could not.
diet.
And,
But
and
then-
hello, Michael.
Here's the thing. So
Michael.
clearly the episode progresses and it appears that they're not going to kill her. And so I'm already very upset because they're going to bring her back to life. Because she's leaving the show. So why wouldn't you just kill her and be done with it? Handy little ending. Goodbye. Have a nice life. Go find a Netflix show. I don't know what you're going to do with
Right.
your life. But you don't need to work anymore because you've been on Grey's Anatomy for 10 years.
Okay.
Right.
You good.
Right.
Oh,
you
you're going to
could.
live off residuals forever.
But it becomes very clear that they're not going to kill her.
Okay.
Fuck. But then wait, there's no brain activity. Oh. Maybe we're going to pull the plug. Maybe we're going to organ donate. All right.
All right.
We're back in business.
Strong work, organ
gonna kill her.
donation. Right.
So then the ex-husband sits down, holds her hand. The atheist ex-husband sits down, holds her hand, and starts praying, and the bitch wakes up.
Oh. Well, thoughts and prayers.
Can't.
Duh.
Can't.
But-
Shonda.
I feel like
that's-
this is a little more.
Shonda,
And that's
you
why
need to knock
I
this
can't
shit
wait.
off.
Little
I
more
can't
than an
watch that
obsession?
show.
I
love
feel
it.
like this is a little more than an obsession.
Yeah. Fruit Loops.
Maybe. Do we need an
Was
intervention?
was I not obsessed enough
You,
about
well,
this?
no. But I think it's a little more than an obsession.
So
I
maybe-
misunderstand.
Yeah, yes.
Did I not
Did
understand
I
the assignment?
stutter?
God. They're not real people.
Yeah, they are.
First of all,
Right.
don't tell me they're not real people. Second of all,
You don't
As a
know what
person who
she'll
asks
do.
cab drivers to take me to Barnaby Lane,
Oh,
Barbary Lane, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
something.
see, you get it.
I know.
I know.
I told you. Mary Ann Singleton sometimes goes by Laura Linney. I can't explain it. I don't know what she's
I don't
doing.
know why.
But she's getting work.
Listen, you got to be a part of the world. You got to cope however you can cope.
Exactly. So she goes by a different name sometimes. I don't know.
But she came back to life because he prayed about it. Nope.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a written explanation of how you go from
Yeah.
no brain activity to brain activity. But
God, it was a freaking miracle.
Oh, I'm
They
more
said
concerned
so.
about the message they're sending about an atheist sitting down all of a sudden praying and things start fucking working. No.
I get it. You're sad. You love her. You want her to live.
Hashtag thoughts and
You do
prayers.
weird
No,
things. You
no,
think,
no.
oh, maybe this is a thing, but she shouldn't have woken up. Her kidney should be in somebody else right now.
yeah.
Marnie, what's your obsession?
My obsession is
Better
fact
yet,
that-
better yet, better yet, better
Yeah.
yet. Hold on.
Told
Was
him.
she intubated or was she sitting there like with no tube in her mouth?
oh, see.
Because you know they have a tube in her mouth, you can't harvest the organs. Because you got to keep them intubated and breathing. Because then they're not technically dead.
I don't know. There were tubes at one point, but then she just like woke up and smiled and talked to him.
Yeah.
So there
Well,
couldn't have
there's
been
no-
tubes
So
there.
she was not on her way to be an organ. She wasn't giving anybody her kidneys in that situation.
Listen to me, Shonda Rhimes. I've had it with your shit.
God.
I think that we should have a conversation about Kat and her what?
So what? I've been duped into Shondaland. I'm not the only one.
Yeah, exactly. We all get there in our own special way.
I signed on to almost all of her damn projects. Isn't Rise one of hers too?
I don't know.
No,
That I do
Oh, you're
She's-
fucking with
she's
Joey.
ABC, that's
you're,
NBC.
you're fucking with Joey from Canada. What? Okay, wait.
Why? What happened?
Oh, I think he's not caught up.
Oh, different show maybe? I'm not sure what's going on, but there's something.
No. I think they're
I
talking
told
about.
you to skip ahead. You do.
Yeah, skip ahead.
Okay.
Marina,
Well, I don't.
prom killer.
Yes.
No,
yes.
the lawyer one is Shonda. Never mind. Carry on.
Very good. Truly, it's a good obsession because after going, I mean, I think they were snowing everyone at the prom by being as polite as they were, but everybody who was there was just short of that chick that was flashing her shit. But they
Doing the
were.
coochie.
Honest to God, they were just the nicest kids, and so I'm kind of obsessed with the fact that
You have hope for
I
children?
have hope for children.
Okay.
I mean, they were kind to everyone. There wasn't. It was really quite fun. It was enjoyable to
Oh, that's nice to hear.
watch them have fun, and they danced like there's no tomorrow. I mean, at my prom, that was not the case. You had your people that were a part of like the dance line that were out there and, just all dancing with each other, whatever. And that was it.
I think I went to a dance once too, and I remember that one really dancing. Like the music was more geared toward it. It was more fun.
We did when we had a band. Like there were bands that they would bring in.
Prom
that
night, we
were
just kept
really
running
great.
out to the parking lot to drink and get
Right,
high. Like I don't know how much
absolutely.
time we actually spent there.
Yeah, it was
And I had a
fun.
date
Stone
afterwards, so I had to
senior
tell
year.
her like,
I gotta go.
this is
Yeah.
gonna be a pumpkin.
Yeah. I'm here as a favor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
You're
was
welcome.
a lovely
Yeah,
girl.
I'm
Sure.
sure. But
And he.
Yeah.
She was Pellegrino, I was Perkins. We spent a lot of time one seat away from
Sure,
each other,
sure.
and our lockers were next to each other. Like we spent a lot of time in high school, and then we went to Europe together
Oh,
after high
okay.
school. And when that plane landed in JFK, we went a good 12 years without ever laying eyes on each other again, because it was like, we are breaking up.
this is too much. Too much.
We're not even a pretend
No.
couple, and we're sick of each other.
That's funny.
We's on the outs.
So anyway, that's I was excited that it was just kind of a nice obsession because they really surprised me and they were just kind kids and aside from the suit coats of some of them, dapper as hell. Like the guys and it was very the gals went out and had I mean it's a primarily Hispanic school. Like there are a lot of Mexican kids there, so lots of quinceañeras, right? That they would have had these dresses, and they're beautiful dresses. But the fact that like guys were coming in like blue suits, like all blue, like a royal blue,
Yeah.
and it was flashy, and the guys had their shoes that were matched. It was just fucking fun, to
And
see
I
that
loved-
kind of thing. It was very fun.
I love to ride my bike to Encanto Park, and if you go on a Saturday and you see everybody comes,
Oh, for the quinceañera.
the quinceañera pictures are there, and the whole party that they put together, and there's the girls all in dresses and the guys all in formals, and it just looks so nice, and they look like they're having fun. You're like, you're fucking 15.
Yeah.
Like, and what is this holiday?
And they've spent
so much money. Like and then
that's their thing, though. I mean,
yeah, and they have these pictures taken in Canto, and I'm like, God, I hope you use a filter because that park's kind of brown.
well, and one of the gals
That
who-
grass is never green. It's green for like 2 weeks of the year.
one of Aaron's teacher TAs, the teacher assistant, he was there. What a doll. And his girlfriend, they've been going out like 6 months, and she had never been to a prom, and so she was very worried about. She's a senior, but she was very worried. Like, is my dress, what about it? And it was just cute to like go back to that time, just that innocence, and then they said, we are so hungry, and we're like, why? Her mom and dad, because of her never having been to a prom, and she didn't have a quinceañera because they couldn't afford it then to put it on the right. So they went out, all out for this prom, and with the dress and the this and spent over $600 alone just on a photographer.
Oh my gosh.
So they didn't get to eat.
Oh no.
Oh.
They were like, we were there forever, and it was just. But
Oh, I thought you were going to say they starved the child to get into a
right,
hand-me-down
right.
dress
Get
that
in
was
the
a little
dress.
smaller.
Get in the dress. No, but it was. I just thought they were like, we're so hungry.
Oh.
But the parents were so excited, and I don't know. I don't think about those things now,
Yeah.
right? Like I just think of shitty things, and
It's
Angry
always
now I
things.
didn't have
it's
to.
always it's always good when you meet good children.
Right, yeah.
Very encouraging.
Yeah.
I believe they have their future.
That's the problem. So if
It
they're
dep-
shitty,
yeah, exactly.
then the future ain't
That's-
looking so
we should
bright.
teach
right?
them well,
Yeah.
and then
Let them lead the way.
Yeah.
If that's how you want to say it.
And do not get in the bathtub
Allegedly.
with heroin. I have my finger.
So
on
no
the
babies
pulse.
born?
Well, maybe then,
I'm
like
just a dumpster
conceived.
baby at the prom.
No
But
babies
no,
in the toilet?
We did not see anything like that. Actually, I steered clear of the bathroom because I didn't want to know. I didn't want to know.
So
So you're not going to help the girl with the slit all the way up
No,
the front.
I'm
and
gonna
you're
mock
not,
the shit out of her.
you're not going to
not
go
gonna
check
help
the
the
toilet bowls for
girl.
babies.
No. Hey, I was a +1. I don't need to do any of that shit. I just need to snip the boys' coats, and that's it.
But there's some TV show where the line was, "You can't get pregnant from your first time," said every girl at the senior
Yeah,
prom giving birth in a
exactly.
bathroom.
Yeah. Just saying. I looked at Aaron and I said, okay, now for the juniors that are here, let's see, 9 months,
Yeah.
carry the 1. All right, let's pay attention. We're
Oh.
going to know when this fucker was conceived.
February birthdays.
Mm-hmm. They're
Very suspicious.
very suspicious.
So the thing that I forgot, which I guess I'll make my obsession because I'm really not obsessed with anything besides like getting a day off,
'Kay.
was the Val Perkins Memorial Fridge.
Why are we
So,
obsessed with the Val Perkins Memorial
Saturday or
Fridge?
Sunday night, I was at work, and I was like, 11C, this is Al. Hi, Val. And I just had enough. I'm like, it's Alfred, and like Valfred, huh? That's a strange name. And I'm like, okay, this is Al. I didn't know where you got the V, but no, it's Alfred. I'm like, no V. Like my mouth doesn't make funny noises or add V's.
Right.
But that's my favorite thing, Valfred. That's a funny name.
I'm changing you to that in my phone right now.
But can you get
I
that
love
picture?
it.
Can you get the picture?
Whoops.
Can you pull up the picture from my Facebook page from my birthday?
Oh, I just pulled up the picture of that.
Oh, yeah.
That's where we're getting it from.
Fantastic.
But so
So what do you want?
that picture from my Facebook page that everyone thought was the wig, the B. Arthur picture.
Oh, stand by. Yes, I'll get
Oh,
that.
that was funny.
So
Wait, that's not a wig?
no, it's my hair.
Oh,
What?
I think
I
I've heard
know.
this story before.
So I thought we needed a little clarification on that. And so when
We
people
need
thought
a
there was
lot
some
of clarification on that because what is happening?
So it was because somebody thought, because we have this thing at work where we'll put up like new nurses or like seasoned nurses, as they like to call them. They'll put a picture up. So like if you don't know someone's name, you can go look at the pictures, and they have like one experienced nurse on the board with all these new people. Well, because no one, as far as I know, no one took any pictures at my nursing school graduation. There are none, and I don't look all that different from then. Bald, then fat, all the same
stop
things.
it.
So
Take it back.
that picture, because there's a stethoscope on, someone thought it was my nursing school graduation, and I had put a wig on. I did not.
Which is not outside the realm of possibility. Let's be clear.
I did not get up.
No one was surprised by you having a wig on.
Yeah, and I absolutely did not put, like, I was like, I don't know where you're coming up with this. I forgot the stethoscope, but it was from when I was 15 years old, and it's from a play, and I was playing like a mad doctor or a mad scientist or something. So it's just baby powder in my hair to make it look gray, and very, very subtle stage makeup. So it
Very subtle stage makeup.
no, it really, I mean, because you don't know that like there's like lines painted on my like.
Here's the picture in question.
like you could kind of see that there's lines. It's the end of the show, so I'm kind of sweaty. You know what I mean? So the lines have
It
sweated
kind
off.
of looks like if you did the face swap with you and my mom right now.
I was
that's,
just,
that's honest to God her hairstyle.
but I was just amazed at that 15-year-old skin. Like, Christ Lord,
It's fantastic. Yeah, seriously.
like that's good skin for
Yeah,
a
that's
15-year-old for
really
the
good
Zitty period of life.
Look at Amina's not buying it.
No, that's my actual, and there's very few pictures of me with that hair because I made sure that in the world they don't exist. But I had the flip up hair that would,
I saw that.
when I would part it down the middle, it was
The
curly,
feathers.
so I would have to wear a ski cap over my head while I was getting ready to try to like flatten it out. And it wasn't until I went to a part of town where they straightened hair on the regular that they straightened that I had my hair straightened, and then I decided to get my passport picture taken that week. And it looked like someone peed on my head because I just had stringy, flat, long
God.
hair.
Where's that picture?
Huh?
Let's get that picture.
It's in my first passport.
Oh
well,
my gosh.
we'll need to scan that, please, and figure that out.
And then it got fixed almost. Someone had to come in and fix
Gosh,
that.
real fast, I hope.
Oh,
Real fast.
Yeah.
That was the days of
That's
playing with the
funny.
hair.
So, obsession for me a little bit was remember earlier we were talking about I wish that I would have understood the humor of Letterman when I was younger.
Sure.
And it's one of these things, I don't love it or hate it. I'm pretty sure it's a love or hate relationship with this movie with a lot of people. I happened to catch the very beginning. It was starting on one of the channels a few days ago. May have actually just been last weekend. Yeah, it was this past weekend. The original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And I'm always fascinated by this movie because there is so much going on in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Mechanically, they made all the props, everything they did, the set, the boat, the Willy Wonka, the Wonka-mobile car, all these things going on. So it's another one of those things that when you watch it, you forget how adult that movie is.
Yeah.
There's a lot, and they even, I watched some documentaries about the making of the movie and how it was written and how this happened and how that happened and blah, blah, blah. That literally, when they wrote it, they knew that there were two bylines. There was a line, not a byline, but there were two storylines or so that the kids are going to get one thing, adults are going to get another, and it works on all levels of it. But I forgot it's a dark movie, but again, there's so many wonderful lines and jokes that go in the movie. So you go into the rabbit hole of that where you find, I wonder if there's anything on YouTube about this movie, the set, the making, the right. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So there is.
Probably lots, sure.
There was a good amount of it. So that was quite interesting. But again, it was I watched it when I was younger.
Right.
And I didn't remember it much from being younger, but then as I got older. But yeah, you go through and you learn stuff. And that whole thing at the end where, the moral of the story, spoiler alert, here's the spoiler for fucking Willy Wonka. They're looking for an honest kid because he wants to give the chocolate factory to a kid, right? Right. So they're all...
Spoiler alert.
They're all... the kids are all stealing
Monsters.
candy and doing shit along the way to give up the secrets, blah, blah, blah. Anywho, that speech at the end where Charlie goes in, Charlie and the grandpa go into the office where everything's half.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And Willy Wonka goes off on that speech. I found out that was unrehearsed.
Oh.
I didn't know that. They didn't know. It was written. Here was the speech, but they had no idea what he was going to do.
Okay.
And he said that the kid that played Charlie Bucket, the actor, he said, I felt bad because I wanted an honest reaction from him and Eddie Albert. It's not Eddie Albert. Is that right? Eddie Albert that played the Grandpa Joe?
No.
Now, is it Eddie? No. Not Eddie Albert. Yeah, no.
Nope.
Yeah, you're on the right track.
I think
Edward Albert.
I think that's correct.
Okay.
I think it's right because he was also in Chico and the Man.
Oh, but Eddie Albert, I'm thinking of Green Acres, right? Is that not
That's
Eddie
why I think
Albert?
it's Edward
Are you
Albert.
thinking Jack Albertson?
Jack
Jack
Albertson.
Albertson.
My
Thank you.
bad.
Okay.
My bad. Thank
Okay.
you very much,
No,
Kat.
that's-
And
thank
Google.
you. I'm like,
So Jack Albertson. Anyway, so Gene Wilder specifically did not tell the other actors in the scene, nor the cameraman or anybody else, what he was going to do,
Okay.
and did that whole take and did that whole thing. So all of their reactions were genuine. Like, the fuck is this?
Right.
But anyway, I think that's a great
cool.
speech when he goes, et cetera, and so forth, and it's print like he goes to that whole speech. Just was fascinating to see it.
I see.
And then you find out things about how the set was made and like where he sits down and he drinks out of the little teacup, the little flower. It was all made of wax. So when he bites it at the very end,
Right.
he said, I had to hold the wax in my mouth and chew on it until they called cut because I had to spit it out. Anyway, just interesting things about it. But I'm fascinated. It started with a couple weeks ago with all of the background scenes of all of these TV shows that I find out are all green screen and how they do it. And now
Willy Wonka's a giant set.
huge set.
Yes.
Huge set. And it was in Germany is where they shot it all. Because they didn't want it, their goal was to make it not look like anywhere. So that it wouldn't, like when it played in America. Oh, then the other thing I found out about it, another interesting thing, they were trying to figure out funding for the movie. They went to Quaker Oats. Quaker Oats was going to come out with a new candy bar, a new chocolate bar. So they're like, okay, how about this? You call it the Wonka Bar. We will release the movie the same time you release the Wonka Bar. Boom, we got a whole thing. Everybody loved it. They gave them the money. Everything happened. Well, apparently there was a problem with the Wonka Bar mixture. And when Quaker Oats sent all that Wonka Bars out to all the places, they all just melted. The chocolate wouldn't, at whatever temperature, even at room temperature, because they all melted, and it was a horrible marketing campaign. It all went to shit, but the movie was a success. Not at first. The movie was not a success at first, but I think later on it became more of a maybe like a cult hit or whatever you want to call it.
Sure.
Yeah, and I never got that movie.
Oh, I read the books like right away.
Yeah.
Like when I could read those books and just loved it and
So I was
and
I was
watched it.
delated by
Oh,
the
I
remake because I was like,
loved it.
that first one is just
I hated
Creepy.
it.
Yeah,
I didn't
I
like
hate
the
it.
remake. Even though I love Johnny Depp, I
Yeah.
didn't like the remake.
No.
oh, and see, I much prefer I like the
Oh.
Okay,
kid
Loompas
more.
are more charming
in the remake.
in the remake, yeah.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
the first one creeps
Me out.
Yeah,
And
I can see that.
So
that
much.
one in
Does
Jenny-
it even now? Like, if you were to watch it now, would it?
I
As an
can't even
adult?
make
Yeah.
it. I can't even make
No,
it through it. Like
even
it
as
just
an adult.
Oh.
Part
About
of it's
20
Gene
minutes in,
Wilder.
I'd-
Like,
yeah.
Gene Wilder himself just creeps me out. I'm like,
love
don't
Gene- I
come
love
near
and
me.
I
you
love him in
creepy old
every
man.
movie but that one. That one still it starts and I'm like, oh, I gotta get out of this.
Oh, I think he's fantastic in that.
Well,
Yeah, and I mean, and
I do
there's-
too.
But it's kind of like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. There's a lot of movies that I tell people like, oh,
Never
I
seen
was too
that.
old for that. I was too old for a certain movie, like The
Right.
Gremlins or like Goonies, whatever it's called.
Oh my God.
Like
Goonies.
I'm too. I was just a little bit too
Yeah.
old to watch a movie for someone
sure
that
sure.
age. But that movie, I'm like, I never felt I was the right age. Like it was just creepy,
Okay.
and he wasn't the
He's
funny
kind of
guy from
awful,
Young
right.
Frankenstein, and like I was
Okay,
used to
I
him
mean, I
being
can
silly.
see that. Yeah.
Kind of a dick to all
But like
these
Chitty Chitty
people.
Bang Bang, and I mix them up into one movie, so I don't
Yeah,
know where
but
one
he
starts, the other
called
one
everybody
ends.
out. Like he totally
Oh, yeah.
called everybody
And
out.
the kids
for
were
them being-
awful, and I
Yeah.
was afraid I was awful and gonna
Sure.
get drowned. And
I want my envelope now.
yeah, like they were just. I
And then
was
he is
just,
all like,
ugh.
it's just yeah, that was fantastic.
She talked about that.
My
She talked about that
TV.
scene where she jumps up on the bad egg indicator, and she said that one of the things when she got up there, she had to stand perfectly still because when the trapdoor fell out from under her, they're like, if you have your arms out, you're gonna hit the sides and could injure yourself. So
Right.
she jumps up and she's stiff as a board when she
Okay.
jumps up there. Yeah, interesting. Even
I do love that.
well, and I guess the catalyst for the movie, Gene Wilder had seen the script and they went through all of the stuff, and he said they're somewhere asking him about doing the movie, and he said, I have one stipulation. And they're like, what is it? He goes, when I walk out to the gate, I want to walk out like I'm injured.
Yeah.
Where he does the with the cane and the
I've
whole
never made it. I've ever made it
Oh
that far
yeah.
in the movie.
Yeah.
when they meet at the gate at 10 a.m. on the date with the 5 golden tickets, where it's the 5 kids and their parents. The clock chimes 10, the door opens, he walks out, and there's a very long red carpet that he walks out on, and he walks and he's got a
And
severe
it's
he's got a very severe limp.
Yeah.
He walks with a cane, and he walks and he gets, let's say, 10 feet from the gate, and as he's walking, the cane sticks in the bricks, and he loses it, and he makes a motion with his hand like, okay, and he does a somersault, and he comes up, and he's perfectly fine. And he said, I want that scene to be in the movie because at that point, nobody in the movie will ever know if that character is lying or telling the truth,
Sure.
which made the whole twisted
Oh, I got
story,
you. Oh, that's a good idea.
which I thought was good. So now, see if you were to watch it now, you might be like, oh, I get it.
no. Yep.
Very different.
Yep.
But yeah,
and that's because everything goes to a hush when he comes out and he's walking like that. Like all
Yeah.
of a sudden you see him come out and
Yeah. For some reason, that movie in Chitty Chitty Bang
just
Bang
loved it.
just disturbed me.
okay. And
But
I'm
again,
with
I
Clayton.
thought
haven't
the
seen
Wizard of
Chitty
Oz
Chitty
was
Bang Bang.
I thought the Wizard of Oz was a horror movie because that movie just scared the shit out of
When
me.
I was really young, the flying monkeys got
Oh,
me.
it scared the crap out of me.
Nothing else bothered me, but the flying monkeys
Yeah.
got me. But then later in life, again, I see it. And again, it's another thing that later in life you hear humor that you never heard before as a kid.
Oh, and I've told that story 1,000 times. That when people were like, they made a musical, I'm like, with what fucking songs? And they're like, it's a musical. I'm like, there's one song, and then it's just scary. And then I watched it as an adult. I'm like, these people never stop fucking singing.
All the time.
They're singing here, they're singing there. There's a song for every goddamn thing.
Yeah.
I was so traumatized by those monkeys.
Yeah,
Oh.
The
mon-
monkeys are really
That's
scary,
funny.
which is why I find it really wise to just fall asleep in the poppies and then just be done
Yeah,
with the movie.
take the heroin,
Right.
bliss out.
When she passes out in the poppies, you just go ahead and take yourself a little nap, and The Wizard of Oz is a wonderful movie.
Oh yeah, that whole everything. Whoa.
Fantastic. Oh my god.
Well, there, we've beat that segment up, and there's that. So let's go on to
shit.
this segment, shall we?
Yeah.
How about a little headlines coming at you at the end of hour 1, going into our second hour. But these are the teasers. It's the stories we're going to tell you about right after the crossover. How about this? No sex on patrol.
To be determined.
It's just shitty.
That does not have a silver lining.
I think this is your same story. Very moving brownies.
To be determined.
Tommy Laren's still a cunt.
I guess you could use it on your skin too.
Also, feathers ruffled in a domestic fight. These stories and who knows what else we're going to come up with coming up in this segment we call headlines. Oh, it's all good.
It's all good.
All right, boys and girls, we'll be back right after this. We're going to go get coffee.
Because I am not one of your fans!
You're listening to Q Talk America.
Educates, syncopates, radio communicates, radio, the sound of year-round pleasure.
is the Q Talk America Radio Network.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. This is the beginning of hour 2 on the show. It's the Q Talk America Tuesday night. You're in Studio C alongside Kat Carlson, Marty Ryer. That's Al Perkins. I'm Clayton McKee. Thanks for joining us. Everybody in the chat room, it's been very, very busy in there, and I love to see that. It's been great. And they're all having side conversations and doing their own thing. Oh, my God. Well, if you missed the first hour, you'll have to go back and figure out something Kat said made Al think of something that he's now forgotten. Oh, hang on, let me turn on your microphone.
It was the Val Perkins Memorial Refrigerator. It was the Valfred
We told
story.
the Valfred story.
Got it.
That's yeah.
Also,
That
we,
reminds me, I gotta change my phone.
also, we talked about movies that were terrifying that aren't supposed to be, and vice versa. Great. So go back, figure it out. Watch movies, get scared or not.
Well, when we first started the show, I think only Tyler from Tennessee was listening
That's
back
right.
then.
Yeah.
But in that old studio, that bathroom, in the first studio, that bathroom was so scary. And
And,
that movie
yeah.
Cabin Fever had just came out. So every week I went to the bathroom, I would list all everything that week that was scarier than the movie Cabin Fever. Because I was so disappointed at how not scary that movie was.
That's true.
But how blindingly terrified I was of that bathroom at that studio.
I vaguely remember that because we drank a lot back in those days.
Oh,
okay, this is the headline segment, kids. From the I didn't know we needed a law for that file, here comes this story. Kansas Governor Jeff Collier signed a new bill into law on Thursday that bans police officers from having sex with people they pull over for traffic violations.
Oh, that takes the fun out of it.
You heard that right. Apparently, there needed to be a law stating that cops could not have sex with people that they stopped for various traffic violations. Sexual relations are now outlawed for police, quote, during the course of a traffic stop, a custodial interrogation, an interview in connection with an investigation, or while the law enforcement officer has such person detained, according to the Kansas City Star. Before the measure, Kansas was one of 33 states where consensual sex between police officers and an individual that they detained was not a crime. I can't imagine how this was not a crime. New York State passed a similar bill last month, closing a loophole in the state law by specifying that people in police custody are unable to consent to sex. Kansas law previously banned sexual relations between officers and people in jail. However, it didn't state anything about people stopped on the street or in their custody outside of the jail. Now, Cindy Holscher, who is a Kansas State representative, introduced the bill after an investigation found that a Kansas City, Kansas detective coerced a woman to have sex with him by threatening to arrest them or their family. She says, quote, this helps the person who was detained in their neighborhood or stopped for a ticket, the type of thing she told the Kansas City Star newspaper. The newspaper reported that several members of the Kansas House Judiciary Committee were surprised this wasn't already against the law. Quote, those of us who have been there for a few years thought it was something that had already been taken care of. The committee pushed to bundle the law with some other law enforcement reforms during that legislative session. I'm just astounded that is not a universal law everywhere.
Seriously.
You know who really gets hurt here? The lady that just wants to have a little fun with her
Ah,
arresting
little
officer.
nookie.
Now, what's she gonna do? Nothing.
Pay the
now
ticket.
She's just gonna pay the ticket.
Well, there was
It also takes a lot of porn fantasies out of the picture, too.
Right.
God, I'd like to be stopped by a hot cop, and then it all, no, that doesn't work.
It doesn't.
I'm in.
Yeah.
No,
The copy,
no,
the
I
copy
understand.
Tell me
repairman
more.
is still on
Yeah.
board, right?
Yeah.
Ma'am, I'm here to fix your copier. That guy's still working.
Yeah, right. It's okay for that. But no, woo. No,
Yeah.
can't do that anymore.
No.
Have you seen my nightstick? Not going to happen. Can't do that.
There
Is
are,
it the manual feed tray?
Oh, come on.
there are cases of
Okay.
cops pulling over women at night
Yeah.
and doing bad things.
No, I understand that. But
Yeah.
I'm surprised that even though they're doing it, I'm surprised there weren't already laws
Right.
on all states' books saying can't do it.
Even a guideline.
Yeah, we prefer.
Yeah.
Right. I do like that law though, that not to jump on the story, but the idea that if you are out at night and you don't feel comfortable, that you can either call a police station close to you or go to the closest police station. If the cop can have the lights on, can have the whole thing,
Right.
and you just keep
Or you
going
just call
until
nine-
you
you
get
call
confirmed.
911.
911 and be like,
Yep.
I'm being tailed by a car. Is it
Right.
legit?
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
Yeah.
people are going to like uniform shops and getting the lights and getting the whole thing. Jesus.
Side note with
Yep.
with
Oh, the Golden State Killer turned out to be a cop. I forgot
Yes,
about
That's
he
that.
was
right.
a former
Oh,
cop.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely,
true.
Jenny. That's right. Oh, that
what
was
podcast
freaky.
was that on? Because I was just listening about the.
Well,
It
all over
was
the
on
news.
yeah, but it was on Netflix. There was what was it?
But I must have caught it like.
Oh,
In an
it's
ancillary
it's
space.
the gentleman whose wife committed suicide. He's a comic.
Patton
Patton
Oswalt.
Oswalt,
It's
right.
his wife
Who wrote
she did the tracking down of this, like started almost
Oh,
like
that's
living
right.
it, and that's what it was
Yeah.
really something.
I should pay more attention to the world because I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
I was listening to some. Maybe it was the New York Times one that I listened to that they were talking all about some cop that was following him from God only knows when, and
Yeah,
I
this,
only listened like this much apparently. 'cause I
Yeah,
had other
when
things.
everyone else had given up on the case, she kept on with it.
yeah, because she couldn't figure out, like everyone had the name, right? And when you
Well, because he
hear-
started out in like Sacramento or Oakland as they called him the East Valley Rapist, I think.
something, right? They had different names for
I think
him.
it
and
was
they never-
Sacramento because when they did the press conference, she's like, the answer was always here in
Yeah.
Sacramento. She said the investigator, whoever she was.
So they found him.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
It's very exciting.
it is exciting.
Oh yeah, from
do you not know this?
I literally, let me tell you what my life actually looks like. I wake up in the morning, I work on T-shirts, and or I go to the bar, and
Tumble
then
out of bed, stumble to the kitchen,
Yeah.
pour yourself a
I
cup
pour
of
myself a
ambition.
cup of ambition.
if that's how you want to phrase it.
She yawns.
I'm not
she
gonna-
stretches.
She tries to come to life.
I'm not going to tell you how to tell you. I'm not
Right.
going to tell you how to say my life, but yes,
Yeah.
that literally is it. And I only listen to like 4 podcasts, and most of them are
Yeah,
Pod
I'm
Save
with you.
America
I
people.
can believe it,
Uh-huh.
Amina. Shit with
They
her.
And I don't watch TV. I don't do anything.
So-
Grey's Anatomy, podcasts, and T-shirts. That's my whole
So
life.
they tracked him down. They
Scary.
kind of figured out who he was. They thought they
They got
cased
to
him.
him through DNA, right?
Right, they cased him, and somehow he threw something away, or it was a cigarette, whatever it was they got had enough DNA. They traced him through somebody like a brother or a cousin.
Well, because they put it into like 23andMe, and
Right.
they found a
Yes.
relative.
exactly.
That's
So
right.
they got a relative and put it all together, and that's how they
Yeah,
figured
I was
out.
saying
See, I know some stuff.
it wasn't
know
the
they caught
tissue.
him.
Is that's what everyone was saying was going to happen with the 23andMe and Ancestry.com. Was if you go into the database, you go into the database.
Right. Now, if any of my relatives have gone into the 23andMe and I go murder some people, they could find me through them.
Just wipe the crime scene down.
That's right.
Wipe the crime scene
yeah.
down.
Use bleach.
Bleach.
A little.
And I'm with you, Jenny. I'm with you.
A little follow up on
he
the
burns
on
in
the,
hell.
the cop cars following people at night. I just found this out from my friend Ricardo that the lift the lift cars that come around, they've
Yeah.
got the little light on the dashboard. Well, the light on the dashboard changes color, and when you use the app, let's say you're at a place that there's multiple lift cars that are showing up, the color of that little thing on the dashboard can change. So it'll say your car has a yellow light, or your car has
Oh.
a blue or a pink, whatever. Well, the problem is the state law or city law, state law, whatever it is, cars cannot have blue or red lights on the front of forward-facing blue or red lights. So there is something going down with whatever they're doing to stop Lyft from being able to use those colors
Oh.
because it's I don't know if it's confused anybody yet or not, but the rule is you cannot have a forward-facing blue or red light coming from the front of your car because it would be somebody in the rearview mirror would be like, oh shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
So that's I think they're trying to figure out how they're going to work that out with them.
So wait, back
Got
to the
it.
Golden State Killer. Was he behind
Jenny,
the
have
couch the
some
whole
coffee.
time? Where was he?
Just living his life right across the street from
Yeah.
Gladys Kravitz and everybody
Yeah.
else.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Just living like
And he was,
living
and he was a real
among-
cop.
Yeah, he's former cop.
And the fact that he would like go into people's homes and like, but he would bang on pots and pans, wasn't it? And, like cook. He would make things. He would like hang out.
I'm waiting for the book now.
Yeah, he would hang out in the.
How is
the
he
house
with a
for
Western omelet?
hours? They don't know.
Did he take
And,
requests?
It was just.
I like mine with mushrooms.
Yeah, it was the whole thing was just crazy. Was there for hours upon hours, and how they never were able to catch him from the. I don't know.
Because
Yeah.
he was a cop. So he knew
Yeah,
it.
right. Yeah, he knew.
Well, I'm sure there'll be a movie.
Oh,
that
sure.
reflects
I'm waiting
that.
for a comprehensive book so I can see it all at once.
Yeah.
Because I'm very confused by parts of it.
It's very exciting.
Oh, and the way he would scare people into not saying anything, and it just that bah. It really was pretty wild. And it's on Netflix, so if anybody does want to see the documentary about it, it's on Netflix right now.
And what's it called?
That's what I was just going to look up for you.
It is not Golden Showers. Do not look up
no,
that one.
that has
Careful.
Donald Trump in it.
Careful.
Is that on Netflix?
Um,
Feels like that wouldn't be on Netflix.
They have a lot of cool stuff on Netflix.
Probably not a lot of golden shower films.
No. I
Run
meant just
site.
other documentaries. Kat, it's your time. It's your turn to do
Oh,
a,
God,
do a
is it my turn
headline.
to do a
Called,
story?
Annihilation. Nope.
Say
Nope.
s-
I'm lying to you completely. Hold on. I'm lying.
She
Well.
sits on a throne of lies.
It must hurt your ass.
Speaking of police making bad decisions.
Thank you. There's our segue.
There it is. A Michigan police department jokingly renamed themselves the Popo.
Wait a minute. I'm going
my
to get
God.
the picture. I know where this
But
is.
not everyone appreciated the humor. In fact, some saw racist overtones in the prank. No. The Bath Township Police Department said that the Popo decal on a police cruiser was an effort to, quote, reach the younger folk out there.
There you go.
Sure. In an effort to bridge that generation gap, they said, we've decided to update our patrol car graphics in an attempt to be more relatable to the local Utes.
Utes.
The Utes?
The
The
Utes.
Utes.
I
I
love
like
it.
that.
The police department wrote on Facebook in a photo with their new Popo car. Do we have the car?
I'm getting the car.
Oh, that was your toss.
Well, I know, but I'm sorry. I wasn't sure when we were going through. This is what production meetings get you to. This is what helps.
I
that.
didn't have time. I got 200 T-shirts to
We've
make.
been here an hour and a half.
This is the production meeting?
No, but you could have sent me a.
I mean, I could have,
Oh,
but why?
meh.
Yeah,
We
well,
got 3 hours
Yeah.
to fill.
Yeah.
Renaming the force Popo, which is a slang for police,
Here we go.
Right.
got
There-
mixed reactions,
Boom.
and some felt it was racist, implying the community should
God.
watch out for the Popo.
here's your picture. Timing
That's
is everything.
fantastic. That's true.
Timing is everything.
Yes.
I don't see the harm in it.
I don't-
You
I don't either.
know, scrolling through the
Utes of America.
Bath Township Police Department's Facebook
Oh.
shows that they often post jokes and memes on their page. In February, they posted a prank photo which was photoshopped so that their car cruiser said ice cream. Still,
That's funny to me.
still, some feel the most recent prank, quote, prank, went too far.
Okay.
I mean, if you see that coming down your
You be the
street,
judge.
I
You
just
be
think I would
Ute.
laugh.
Ute be the judge.
You'd be the judge.
Ute.
What the
be the
fuck is a
judge.
Ute?
A Ute.
These two Utes.
Yeah.
These two Utes, Your Honor, these two Utes are not charged with this kind.
Oh, my cousin Vinny.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks for being here.
Utes.
Back to you in studio,
That's
Mark.
right.
Yeah.
That's
My
right.
biological clock is ticking like this. That was her Oscar-winning moment. She just delivered the shit out of that line.
Well, when you're looking for the police to go with the theme.
Oh, we're on theme,
We're
yay.
a
Ah.
This is a
theme
crime
going.
theme. I
It
enjoy
is.
this.
So, when you need the police, where are they?
Who are you gonna call?
They're probably
call?
arresting some poor lottery winner
Having sex with her.
Yeah.
who's just dumping shit right and left.
Sure.
Sure. A man from Illinois
Mm-hmm.
was arrested for getting $224,000 worth of manure that he then dumped on his former employer's property.
Oh.
Only 2 weeks
I
after he
approve.
won the $125 million
Oh,
at
let me
the
tell you
lottery
how
and
much
quit
I
his
approve
job.
this message.
54-year-old Brian Morris, who you
Cut to
have
picture.
a picture of.
There's
who's
his arrest
laughing
picture.
his-
Delighted.
laughing his ass off from the small town of Clarendon Hills in DuPage County.
What state are we in?
We're in Illinois.
Illinois. all
Yes,
right.
in Illinois.
Live free or die.
Live free, that's
The
right.
land of soybean.
He bought over 20,000 tons of manure, and he asked for it to be dumped on his former boss's property, pretending it was his residence.
Smart.
Dozens of trucks filled with manure showed up in front of the house around 6 o'clock in the morning and began dumping their smelly cargo all over the property's
Wow.
lawn.
Did it come with a note that said, "This is how much of your shit I've taken"?
Take this
No.
job and shove it.
Oh, right.
Johnny Paycheck.
Yeah. So George Fitzgerald, who was Mr. Morris's former employer, was awakened by the sound of the vehicles on his property, and he rapidly called the
And
police.
perhaps the smell.
Unfortunately, it took the police more than 15 minutes to arrive on the site, and more than 10,000 tons of the manure had already been dumped.
What a shitty day.
Right? Brian Morris was standing right across the street. Right across the street.
Watching.
And laughing
Shitty view.
when the police arrived.
Goddamn, are you just full of them?
And he rapidly, you're right. And he rapidly came over to confess his responsibility and explain his motivations. Lieutenant Frank Myers, a spokesman for the Clarendon Hills Police Department, met the press a few hours later to explain the motivations behind the strange and yet shitty crime.
Oh.
The accused told us he'd worked for the victim for 17 years and he was treated like shit. He says he had to endure his mistreatment because he needed the money. But that now that he won $125 million, it was time for revenge. Brian Morris had attracted a lot of media attention 2 weeks ago when he had won this $125 million Powerball multi-state lottery.
Bitch.
When asked by organizers
Right.
what he would do with the money, he had simply answered, "Just read the news. You'll see." And now I would think that would be like threatening, like you'll
Right,
see,
you'll
right?
see.
He was
With
freed,
the maniacal
yeah,
laugh.
right. He was freed on bail a few hours after his arrest. I'm sure he
Sure,
just
he had the
posted
money.
it,
Yeah. He may have had the money.
And he told reporters to stay alert, claiming he had a few other pranks to pull over the next few weeks.
Oh, no.
gosh.
I thought that was fantastic. Lord help a lot of people if they hit the lotto. The people in the comments love this guy. This guy's my hero. Like
That is
the,
so funny.
The fourth one down was like, did Obama let him win the lottery? No, they didn't.
Fuckers.
Just kidding.
You know, I cannot appreciate somebody wanting to do something like that, but I wouldn't. I just wouldn't do it because, again, the goal would be you'd never fucking know.
Right.
I mean, nobody would know that I'd won the money. That's would be the goal.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden you got people and cousins and relatives that
You
you've
have
never heard of.
Oh, I would never. If I win the lottery,
No.
silent as the grave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but some
No,
of
my
it you don't
name's
have
Val.
control over. So some
That's
of
true.
that little terms of service when you accept your winnings
No, true. That's
is that the lottery department can use your image for promotion purposes.
And
So as soon as they
you put Val Perkins on there.
Right,
Yep.
but as soon as they put Val Perkins on the big billboard on 7th Avenue in Indian School with your
Right.
fucking picture on it,
Right.
people
Fuckers.
from
People are
outside of
gonna
this
know.
area will know.
Yes, exactly.
people will
Yeah.
know. No,
The
listen, I'm
world
fine
will
with
know.
people
I'll
knowing
slip
that I
you
won the lottery.
$5.
I'm fine with telling people no.
Yeah.
Sure.
Hey,
Yeah.
can I have some money? No.
No.
Well, that's
No.
how. Remember the bar here, Options?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
I
He
ca-
got
what was his
killed in
name?
Mexico over that. No, is it Ray Hartwick?
Yeah.
Ray Hartwick got
He
killed
had
on
Mike and Darren's.
Oh.
Yeah, he bought a house on Camelback Mountain after he won. He hosted Mike and Darren's.
a ceremony.
Their bachelor party.
Oh,
Okay.
Fun. One of the funnest nights of my life. That party. Actually, that whole wedding week. I'd rather be seen in sweat socks was the expression of the night.
Good night, Joey. Thanks for hanging out
Bye,
with us.
Joey.
Bye,
Thanks, honey.
Joey. Good
It's
night.
good to see you.
come back and see us again.
So I mean, yeah, that was a story of like lost and ended up losing it all, including his life. Like,
Yeah, because again, he was in Mexico and got killed on a beach. But
Wow.
I don't know if it
I
was
don't know related to anything.
right. I don't know if it's
Sure.
necessarily connected, but again, he had money. He was traveling during whatever he was doing,
Right.
and yeah,
Wow. I
that's when
did not know
Options
that.
closed.
Yeah. I wonder
No,
why.
I think options had gone under long before that.
Oh, it may have, but I was just
Because didn't
joking.
options become?
came Mary's. Well, actually, there was something else between Options and Mary's.
Oh, right.
And then it became Hamburger Mary's, and then it became Jaded, and then we're
Yeah.
done.
And
the
then they
building's
showed up
done.
one day and the doors were locked.
The doors
Yeah,
locked, right?
completely locked it up.
That's how they closed that bar.
Oh, jaded.
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah, the staff showed up and there were padlocks on the bar, and they went, "Oh,
because
Yeah.
we don't work
guess
anymore.
I don't have a job."
Was that a gay bar?
Yeah,
No.
Randy Roberts.
Yeah.
There's your answer.
Here's your sign.
Your story,
I-
Al.
Remain silent. So turns out that the Golden State killer, there could have been a silver lining if it had happened in Missouri.
Oh, I see.
Oh,
Because a Republican lawmaker in
this
Missouri
woman.
claims pregnancy by rape is a gift from
From
God.
God.
oh.
Always Missouri.
Oh.
It's where Aiken comes from, whatever his Todd Aiken.
I thought he
Yeah.
was from Wisconsin.
No,
No.
he's how Claire Haskell became the junior senator from Missouri. Missouri. Speaking on proposed legislation that would grant fetuses constitutional rights, Representative Tila, Hubrecht called pregnancy that results from rape a gift from God, while arguing that abortion should be legal even in the case of rape and incest. During debate on a ballot measure that would effectively make abortion illegal in the state of Missouri, Hubrecht said, "It's not up to us to say no just because there was a rape. They cannot exist. Sometimes bad things happen, horrible things, but sometimes God can give a silver lining to the birth of a child. When God gives life, he does so because there's a reason no matter what. I've met and talked with different people who have been conceived by rape. There is a reason for their life." And, you know, these fuckers, then they're going to be the custody battle. So now you have to share custody with your rapist.
Right.
Because he could be out in, like, 5 years, get out on parole, and now you have
to face him every
share custody. Like,
and now the
just-
custody rulings lean toward the father. They've, like, overcorrected, and they lean toward the dad.
Like, just let women make their own decisions. They've been taken out of the first decision. Let them make the next step on their own. Stay out of their fucking business. They've been through enough. If they want to keep the baby, that's perfectly fine.
Great, do that.
Love
If
the
they-
baby. Do what you got to do. If you don't want to keep the baby, you should not be made to by Missouri in this fucking cunt. Just absolutely awful. Just don't, you know. Oh, and she's a good-looking woman, handsome woman.
And there was also recently the most, I don't know if we talked about it or not, but like last week or week before, there was the most strict abortion law passed, and it was
Iowa.
like
Iowa.
7 minutes after you had sex or something.
No, 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's a very
At
small
6
amount of
weeks,
time.
If you don't know you're pregnant, then you cannot get an abortion. Law passed.
Yeah, it's the most
Yeah,
restricted
and it'll
in the
make
country.
it'll make it through the courts. Like, again, it's just not anybody's fucking business.
Oh, I agree.
Yep.
Like, just stay out
There
of
are
it.
lots of problems in the world. This feels like it should be really
Right,
low,
really
on
low.
the,
Yeah.
on the priority list.
Yeah.
Between a woman and her healthcare provider, and that's just about it.
Yep.
If she wants to tell somebody else, she can. If she doesn't, oh well, not your fault, not your problem.
Yep.
Hers to deal with.
Well, speaking about other people's problems, a Michigan engineering company employee has been fired after police determined that she baked laxatives into brownies intended for a departing colleague.
Funny.
Nice.
Funny.
Saline, Michigan Police Chief Jared Hart says officers confiscated the tainted confections May 3rd after another employee tipped off the management of the company. By the way, no one actually ever...
Shitty narc.
Nobody actually ate any of the brownies. The Ann Arbor News reports that police chief says the 47-year-old woman initially denied putting laxatives in the brownies, but after learning investigators would be testing them, she then admitted that she had. Her name has not been released.
Oh, they weren't testing for laxatives, though.
Other employees,
Maybe.
well, if that was the tip they were given.
Oh, I was just assuming they were.
Other employees, if you listen to the whole story, you'll get it all. Other employees told
Why
police.
would we do that?
Other employees told police there had been tension between the woman and the departing employee, but specifics were not released. Hart says the woman faces no charges, but if anyone had eaten the brownies, it could have actually been considered a criminal act. All in all, this is a pretty shitty thing to do.
Shitty.
It is, yeah.
Oh.
But I agree, they could have been tested for pot in the brownie, but it was a laxative they were looking for.
I
A
would just- I would-
moving brownie.
I would just assume that you would hear that and be like, oh, there's really pot in there, and like no one's gonna do laxatives.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe if you don't like it.
Yeah.
If you're on the
Tale as
move,
old as time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're on the move. Or
you need to
wanna
be. You need to be.
Wait, gotta go right now. You know?
That's right.
Speaking of gotta go right now, police in London moving out the homeless people in preparation of the
Oh, the
royal wedding.
It's coming
Oh,
up this
yeah.
weekend,
Yeah. So there are videos that are going viral, largely in the UK, weirdly, of
It's a good place
the
to have them since
of
it's not
local
here.
police near what is it, Windsor Castle?
Yeah.
I don't care.
I'm not gonna care.
Packing up the possessions of these homeless people that have made their camps in the street, and I think they call them rough sleepers,
Oh.
Oh,
right? Because
Wow.
they're sleeping in the rough.
Sound dirty.
But unfortunately, the police department is holding their possessions until after the wedding, so they're packing their stuff up. Anything you can't carry, the cops are gonna hold until Monday,
Oh.
and they're just moving these people out, shoveling them out.
Oh, that's really shitty.
Oh, it is really
Yeah.
shitty.
give them brownies.
Kind of goes along with the theme today.
Yeah.
Exactly. Cops,
Cops and shit.
Cops and shit, and here we go.
Shitty people doing shitty
Wow.
things.
Yeah.
Yep. In one
Call
video,
them
one of the
police.
homeless men who was made to pack away his possessions says there was There was big speak on TV about the homeless being helped. When they said helped, they meant moved. They're just shoveling them out, shoveling them out, shoveling them out. The royal wedding, of course, is a national celebration, says the castle, and everyone is welcome. However, everyone in Windsor on the day of the wedding will be subject to a search and screening. Anyone with large items will be deemed
Like
a
a
security risk.
Like a shopping cart.
Or a sleeping bag.
Sure. Duffel.
An Uzi.
And have those items removed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Downside of the royal wedding, for sure. Don't think I'm not going to look at all the pictures and watch the video.
Don't think
I'm
I'm
not
not
going
gonna
to
maybe even watch.
Right.
Because I remember when Di and Charles got married, and I'm telling you right now, I watched the entire fucking
The
thing.
world loves a royal wedding.
I couldn't care
hands
less.
down.
When
I watched that whole goddamn thing.
The whole fucking thing. And I was just glued. And that's when, you had to turn the channels like this.
Yeah.
Back in
You
the
had to
day.
actually go to the TV and touch it.
Yeah.
And
what was
back
it,
when my
July
sister
to
and I were
July
remote
29th,
controls.
1981, I think it was.
I believe
and
you
the
are correct.
fact that you can just that is a
Oh, my mom and I watched that entire
Yeah.
thing, just riveted.
and we just smitten with Diana
yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, we were forced
and
to be.
questioning.
She was sold to us like real butter.
Yeah, but well deserved.
Oh yeah, and I
well deserved.
I
I'd
ate
buy
up
it
the butter.
again.
Yeah, I'd buy it again.
Yep.
I can't believe it's
And-
not butter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Amina's post in the chat room. And they're broadcasting it fucking everywhere.
Yeah, you can't get away from it.
Yeah, you really can't.
And then because of
But I think
with
he's
good
darling.
reason.
And
yeah,
he's
he's a handsome fella.
funny and he's cute.
He's
yeah.
really cute.
But he's fucking funny and he's like, I'm not gonna be king.
Yeah.
Let's have fun.
Yeah, no one cares. I'm like 19th in line
Right,
to the throne
right.
now. He was the
He's
spare.
like, I got like a
he was
little
the spare.
fucking
He's the heir
nephew.
and the spare. He's the spare in that story, and
Yeah.
now he's like,
He's like, I got a little nephew, and now she has another, you
Yeah.
know, and Charlotte's gonna be queen before I
so what does that
will,
make
you
him?
know,
1,
like-
2, 3, 4, 5. He's 6th in line to the throne. With
Yep.
Chuck, because you got to go through Chuck, and then you
You
got to
gotta
go
go
through
through Chuck,
William,
and then Will.
then Charlotte, then
Yep.
whatever the other two's names are.
Yep,
No, George first.
yep,
Oh, is the boy
The
boy
boy's
the
older.
oldest?
It's George, Charlotte, and then Louis.
Oh, okay.
yep.
Oh, they got a Louis in there.
They have
Oh, good for
Louis.
them.
That's who they just had, Louis.
Well done. I really thought the girl would, because I thought they changed the law that it didn't have to be the only daughter. It could be the oldest daughter. Could be queen. They changed the law, and then she had a girl anyway, so it didn't matter.
Well,
They had,
and I don't, Anant.
yeah, there's.
But I'm sure people do, and I think Anant's one of
Oh,
them.
I mean,
What's
I'm
that?
pretty much with you on that one, too.
Fantasizing about Harry and Meghan
And me.
Markle. Fucking.
Oh, no. I
Unless
was
Markle's code for me.
I'm going with Amina's. I don't give a fuck about weddings in
Right,
general.
right, right.
Yeah.
That's where I am with
But
that.
there was, and I happened to have
I
insomnia
don't mind.
when I was traveling to San Diego in 2010 and watched that royal wedding.
You
just
watched
because
the
I was,
Will and Kate.
Oh,
I watched it
and
because
didn't.
I was awake. It was
Yeah.
the middle of the night. I
Sure.
couldn't sleep. I was in the Park Manor, the Park
Right.
Inn in Balboa Park.
I'm
and
in
I
for
just
the
couldn't sleep.
recaps.
Yeah, and I watched
I
it
did, right, and I did that for that one.
because I love the.
'Cause
Now that I
she's
know what
darling.
fascinators are,
Yeah.
I'm just charmed by the hats. Like, you know, as soon
Yeah.
as someone explained to me the whole thing about you can't go into a church, women can't go in without a hat on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the men can, or I can't remember about the men if they have to have a hat on too. But so the hats became fascinators because they're not
Became a
really
thing,
hats.
right.
Yeah. And I just love all the people that show up, and Elton John's gonna release another version of Candle in the Wind any minute.
It's time. We need one.
We need one.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Yep, I like it.
So whose story was that?
Oh, it's Cats. Now it's
That was
yours.
me.
Now it's
Now it's
me.
Marnie's. We're back to
And
Marnie.
what was the story about?
Don't know.
I don't- how do we get
It's not my turn anymore.
Homeless,
Turn's over.
evacuating
Yeah.
homeless
oh,
people.
yeah, I'm like, God, what was your story that I got to the royal wedding?
It's fantastic. It's
I need
fantastic.
instant
How well you-
recaps.
How well you
Popcorn.
pay attention. So I can't really go off of that. So I'm gonna just step aside and
Come on, segue it.
Tommy Lahren is a cunt.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you just can't. Like, I can't tie it into homeless folks, except for she'd kick a homeless person. That I could say.
Oh, yeah, she would.
I don't know who Tommy Lahren is.
Yes, you do.
Yes,
She's
you
that
do.
blonde
Sure
cunt
you
that
do.
makes the
That's
awful.
Screaming on
Oh,
television.
bingo.
Yeah.
Bingo,
Yeah.
bingo,
We
bingo.
hate
The
her.
young, very, like, she's just young and.
We hate her.
She was on
Oh.
Trevor Noah, like, just
he-
ate her for lunch.
Oh, good.
When she was on, he just was.
She's like, like I can't even listen anymore. You're just an evil, rotten shit.
Absolutely.
Awful
Absolutely.
for the sake of being awful.
So there was she's lashing out at critics because a genealogist revealed the conservative pundit or cuntit family was made up of the same type of immigrants that she now wants to ban, right? So Laren's ancestors are from Norway and Germany, and they arrived with few skills, and they spoke their native tongues for decades, according to the research that was conducted by Jennifer Mendelsohn, a journalist.
Kind of a dangerous name to have when you're talking about genetics, but okay.
More reasons that I'm not sending my DNA to these people.
There you go. See,
Not doing it.
Not
Trevor
doing
Noah's
it.
gonna rip you a new one.
One woman over the weekend, Tommy Laren says, who took it upon herself to research my family history in hopes of digging up some kind of gotcha moment. Who the fuck are you?
Yeah. Who
I
wants
mean,
to get
really.
you?
A, and B, shut up, Palin. It was gotcha journalism. I'm going to punch you in the cunt.
Gotcha.
So,
The
a gotcha,
liberal gotcha media.
That's right. Ugh, bitch. A gotcha
I
angle.
miss her,
to
honestly.
A lot. She's
Yeah.
super smart.
Super smart.
Oh my God. She's the most smartest
Oh.
ever. Anyway.
Carry on, sorry.
A gotcha angle to validate illegal immigration and open borders. And what she found was really shocking, guys. She told that to her Fox and Friends. She found that my family, who came here in the 1800s from Norway and Germany, that they spoke German and Norwegian. And really, what did she prove? That my family came here legally? But what was she hoping to do? Was trying to call me a hypocrite, you see, for believing in merit-based immigration. Again, she failed miserably. No, she didn't.
No, under merit-based immigration, most of our families wouldn't have gotten here.
Yeah.
Right. And that's where, I mean, it's like, yeah, they came here, they didn't speak the language, and they didn't have a whole lot of skills.
Turns out my great-grandfather lived here his entire life as an illegal alien. His entire life. He was British-Canadian.
Right, but
lived
they're
in
but
Montana
looked
his whole
past, right?
fucking life with
Sure.
none of the right paperwork.
Right.
God
but how
bless
many
him.
people?
Here I am.
Yeah.
Look at me.
Bada
Right.
bing, bada boom.
You're welcome.
That's right.
World.
That's
But,
right.
but he's white, so nobody cared.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, we're all super white.
yeah.
Yep.
Super white.
Super.
By the way, interjection
Yeah,
just for a second.
please.
Speaking of maybe not super white, we've got a listener in Mexico. According to
Hi.
our online, we've got 3.
Why do you gotta assume? We might
No, no.
have white people in Mexico.
No, I know, I understand that. We have, according to this, we have 2 current listeners in the U.S. We've got 1 in India, and we have 1 in Mexico. I would just like for whoever's in Mexico to reach out because I don't recall us ever having.
Yeah.
on
Yeah,
any of
we
the,
did.
we?
Yep.
Well, we had what's his.
Attention, Mexico. Are you good looking?
We had Luis from Sao Paulo, Brazil, but I don't recall a Mexico before. But anyway, if you can.
Well,
find,
and hello. Or
Hello.
hola.
Hola.
As it were.
Find us on if you can find the chat room or send us an email. I just love to know how you found us. Whatever. Anyway, continue on.
And welcome.
Yeah.
So anyway, she went on and on about the fact because she's so aligned with Trump and so aligned with
Just white
you know,
people. She's
right,
awful.
right. She was shouting against her critics, and she suggested that they all suffer from mental illness, and she took a shot at Elizabeth Warren with the Pocahontas slur.
Right, you gotta go racist.
Sure.
You can't be her unless you're a total
Right.
fucking cunt
Because there's
racist.
nothing
Exactly.
worse. The only thing worse than immigrants are people that were here to start with.
Well, yeah.
Right.
It's true.
Right, right.
It's true.
Yep.
It's that sweet spot in the middle that she likes.
I like the.
Only British colonials that we like.
I like the meme. It's got the 4 or 5 white people. This is "Make America White Again," and then
Yeah.
it's a split picture, and it's a oh God, why am I completely blanking on this? I can see the picture, but it's a Native American below, and it says something about we're waiting for that too.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
no, or go home, whatever it is. But it's like, we were here first, so
Yeah.
calm your shit down.
Exactly.
I'll see if I can find that picture.
Tommy
You
Laren.
described it so well.
I
Well,
horribly described it.
But I totally know. I've seen that before. So this, she's Tommy Laren says this isn't what this really isn't what she calls resistance genealogy. It's another indication of Trump derangement syndrome. I really am happy though that she has such a fascination with my family history, and I'm hoping that she'll take on Elizabeth Warren's next. Why? Why? What does it matter?
Because were you not just here? Like the only thing worse than immigrants or people that were here to begin with.
No. I'm with you on that, but there hasn't been any kind of a hesitation about that. I mean, it's not like anyone's trying to hide anything.
Right. But people are saying that Elizabeth Warren really doesn't have any Native American
Any Native American ties, right?
ties, but she claimed it as part of a survey or something to
Sure,
help her in
sure.
college. Somehow it got her something in college.
Okay.
And it was dug up as like opposition research. And I actually heard an interview where she like decided to like birth certificate it, and she like told the story, and it was very simple and straightforward, and like there's no scandal, there's no there.
Right.
It's a very straightforward like
Which makes sense why Tommy Lahren would be
Right.
latched onto it like a freaking bulldog.
Right.
To prove to you how inaccurately I described that last little meme,
I kind of have an
yay.
idea in my head of what it's gonna say.
here it is. Oh God, I keep fucking that up. There it is. Make America white again? Question mark. America wasn't white before.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But there is one that has a bunch of Indians on the bottom and a bunch of white people on the top. And I've seen that one where they're like, yeah, no.
What do you need?
That was one
Yeah, that's just.
woman.
Oh, I'm sorry. So you're looking for a
I'm saying-
bunch of Native Americans.
No, they had probably like 5 or 6 people on the bottom.
I've seen one that
and-
said "Make America Great Again," and the Native Americans are like, "We're still waiting."
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
That's the one. That's what I thought you were gonna show.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair point. Well made.
Well, yeah. All in the same general direction.
General. Depending.
She's a cunt.
Yeah, she really is. And you know,
And
just
like if I see that, like if I friend somebody on Facebook and I see they're posting anything by her that doesn't say she's a cunt,
Right.
Goodbye.
I just delete them. Like
Yeah.
there's no converse. If you
there's no
are
need.
if you're reposting her horrible shit, we're just done.
We're probably not friends.
Yeah,
Right.
We're not ever going to be
The
friends.
less I know
Right.
about you, the better.
Right.
We'll keep it to hello, goodbye, please, and thank you. And
Yeah, she went on The View, and we had talked about this when she was on there about a year ago, maybe it was more. And she admitted to being pro-choice. I don't know if you remember
I
that.
do remember that.
She admitted to being pro-choice, and she wasn't like it wasn't like she
do.
tripped over it. She
Right.
just was like, "No, I'm pro-choice," and whatever.
I'm
And
an awful person except for this one thing.
But it was almost one of those where you saw some of the people that were on the panel. One of them being
Joy Behar.
no.
Oh, Jebediah, Whoopi.
The
her
one
name
who's
is
on there.
Jebediah.
No. The one who's on there.
Raven.
Shut it.
Cameron.
McCain.
Oh, she
Hate her.
wasn't. She was
Oh,
not
Meghan
on
McCain.
there. It was the one.
Sunny.
No, it's the only one you're not mentioning. ABC News.
Diane
she comes
Sawyer?
on every now and again.
Oh, isn't that Sunny?
No.
No, Sunny was on CNN.
Anyway, this gal
Elizabeth
is
Vargas.
No.
My girlfriend, Nicole
have to-
Wallace.
no, she's fantastic.
I
I
love her.
remember her.
Steve Bell.
Digress. No.
Peter Jennings.
No, I say. But she's the only person who will talk about being staunchly. I mean, Meghan McCain will as well, but she wasn't on there with that bitch.
Smart.
But this was something where she looked up and the look of horror kind of on her face.
And it wasn't Jebediah?
No, Jebediah is pro-choice.
Is she really?
But a woman from ABC News you're talking about.
Yeah, and I can see her. Not Sarah. I love Sarah Mamadai. It's not Sarah.
Oh, yeah, because Mom watches The View almost every day, I believe.
It's.
All right, time to Google.
I have to look it up. It's
I'm working
it's
on
the
it.
only name that you guys haven't said, and she's like a straight arrow, except for she talks about sex with her husband way too much, and it's really a problem.
And this is a younger younger anchor? Or?
Yeah.
Not Lara Spencer.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
She's pretty liberal. And a closet decorator.
Is she from Good Morning America? Is she from...
I'm sorry, guys. Honest to God, I can't. Now
Is it a jackal? Is it a jackal?
Name,
Is it a jackal?
It's a pterodactyl. It's a pterodactyl. So it's not Sarah Haynes. It's not Meghan McCain. Paula Ferris.
Paula Ferris.
Jesus
Only
Christ.
one. My God.
It's an exhausting journey.
She's
Jesus.
Jebediah Light, though.
Right. Yes.
'Cause I
yes, you're right, Mama Die. Paula.
I forget
Ferris,
she's
it's
in there
only
as
one.
the secret conservative too, and
Yes.
Jebediah is not available to throw a Bible at somebody.
Exactly. And Jebediah's not there anymore.
Oh, they get rid of her?
Yeah, now it's Meghan McCain.
Oh, that's a good
Yeah.
switch out.
Oh, Iraq just started listening. Somebody in Iraq is listening
Hi.
now. Hello, Iraq. Welcome.
Hello.
How
Welcome
are
aboard.
you? I
Yeah.
don't know. I can't say hola.
I would say I don't know how to say
I don't
it.
have
I don't know.
either, but
I'm gonna look that up.
if
Don't
you can,
try.
If you can
Don't
figure
try.
out the
I
chat,
feel like we shouldn't try.
if you can figure out the chat room, say hello to us. We'd
I
like to
can
know.
find out.
We couldn't decide on an English accent last week, so let's not branch out.
We have trouble with the just
I feel like
regular
our
talking.
Arabic is not gonna be
Yeah,
good.
that's not going to be good at all.
Not up to mustard.
We are so not trying to be rude, but it's we shouldn't do accents.
No.
At least
We butcher.
I love accent day. I love accent
We have trouble
day.
with each other's names on this show,
that-
so we're not going to
Wait,
branch
By
out.
the way, fuck off. You only have trouble with my name.
All right, so
Oh,
now
that's it.
You were gonna cut me because
Oh.
I said the cat's name. Hold on a second.
Oh wait, I
I
call
think
you.
you've got listening
Yeah,
problems.
Yeah.
No, I call you Reiner.
Yeah, that's
half the
true.
time.
Yeah, you do.
I do. I
That's
do do
true.
that.
See?
I said Marty, and you
Yeah.
were ready to
Yeah.
come over the
Just
table.
saying.
she was
I'm
in
a
launch
little,
mode.
I'm a little sensitive.
That's right. My God,
That's
she's
all.
opposed to the cats now.
So
Yeah.
here's for
Yay
cuntiness.
and Nan.
Oh,
Sarah
hello,
McCunty
cuntiness.
Palin.
There
I
is
love him.
skincare treatment in cannabis.
Oh,
So
So if I smoke the weed, my skin will be nice.
It's
lovely.
better than the blood story you told last week.
yeah.
The skincare blood
Listen,
story.
the vampire
Wow.
facial is sweeping the nation.
scary.
Spreading all over.
Do tell, Alfie. Do tell.
So beauty and wellness products containing CBD and possibly
It's
THC.
European.
An acronym will help.
Cannabidiol. I never knew what that stood for. CBD and THC are becoming increasingly popular. CBD, along with THC, are the two most common cannabinoids, that's the word I know, found in cannabis, aka marijuana. Thank you.
You're
Mary
welcome.
Jane.
But they have different effects. CBD is touted as having therapeutic and stress-relieving benefits, while THC is responsible for the high. Guess which one you want. Associated with marijuana.
THC.
Additionally, CBD is legal in many states, while THC is not. So I think there are some states that have medical marijuana, but it has to be the CBD. And in Italy, it was legal, but like the edibles were CBD, not THC. Because we were just in there talking with the lady, and I'm like, I'm not going to I'm not going to jail for smoking pot in Italy. This is just fun. I just wanted to see what you were doing. So we asked about the edibles. She's like, well, you have to eat like 30 of them to get high off of them. She's like, they're just.
I'll take 35.
Yeah.
Don't underestimate me, lady.
I got wine and you got snacks. Come on.
We're good. So you can find cannabis products for a relaxing bath, for soothing sore muscles, and for healing chapped lips. What? They've even found and founded Olivia Wilde, who raved about a topical CBD lotion by Lord Jones in a 2017 New York Times profile, and celebrity stylist Carla Welch had
Shaking
said
your
she
hand
tells her clients to
It
use it on
reminded
their
me
feet.
to apply.
Well, isn't this is hemp,
Yeah, that's a hemp lotion.
which is always in trouble for being cannabis related. That's why hemp is illegal in the U.S. and so much can't be done with hemp because they're afraid you're going to turn it into pot.
But you did hear that it's now it's coming up for us to start growing it in this state.
Right. Because
Hooray.
'Cause they
we
can make-
can't believe reefer madness for the rest of our lives.
No, God,
And,
no.
You know,
It's been almost 100 years since Reefer Madness.
So,
Wasn't that in the 20s? Wasn't that in the 1920s?
Yeah, 30s, I think.
Okay.
I think.
Parmigiano
Samara
Smokin'.
Jabber of Jabber. Let's go Jabber. That sounds nicer. Jabber sounds wrong.
I feel
Of
like
Wa-
Jabbar.
Jabbar.
I want to go Aladdin with it.
Wait, yeah, but
I
you
would
went,
like
you went
the
Les
Jabber.
Miserables.
That's
You
why I'm
went-
not going.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jabber.
You went full
Jabber.
Les Miserables.
36, 1936,
Javert.
Reefer
Not
Madness.
bad.
Washington Square Dermatology told HuffPost that while the enthusiasm for cannabinoids in skincare is definitely growing, the science behind it is still sparse. A lot of the research focuses on the usefulness in relieving itchiness associated with dry skin and eczema, and some anti-inflammatory effects, as well as potential anti-tumor effects. Now we're starting to get into witchcraft. I can never remember. Do you have to burn them or give them water to find out if they're witch? I always got to ask.
I hate the itching, but I don't mind
I
the
think
swelling.
if they float, they're a witch, and if they sink, too bad.
Ah, that's what it is.
That's how it is.
Yeah,
You
win-win.
You stick them in water. If they float, they're a witch. You burn them. If they sink, they drown. Oh well.
Oh, well. Our bad.
Not a witch. Rest in
Probably
peace.
just a midwife. Unfortunately, most of the studies in the cannabinoids have been done in the laboratory only, and there have been very few studies on people. So additional, well-controlled clinical studies need to be done to see how effective these ingredients actually are in life. Now, you'll see them sold as, I've seen the massage oils, I've seen that, and I've always been curious as to, like, what's that gonna do?
Is it tingly?
Yeah, the chapstick, does it really soothe muscles like a balm would? What's that?
Sorry.
Oh my God, there's cannabis tampons are for
Yeah.
period pain.
So so Jenny says not putting it in my vagina, and Amina, Jenny, the cannabis tampons are for period pain. Yeah, I get it, Amina. I'll still eat it.
I got where this is going.
Right.
I get it.
Right.
I'm
I
still eating
understand
it.
it. I'm not doing it.
Still not doing
damn,
it.
was real funny.
So, and that was one of the things, and actually Harrison sent me a link about pain, because one of the things that they'll tell you for people that are being prescribed for pain is they're not exactly sure the science behind using marijuana as a pain remedy or as an adjunct to pain to get you off of opioids. Like, does it have some kind of anti-inflammatory component? No one's really testing it. And then, no, Annette, we do not do Indian accents. That's just, we're just going to get run off the air.
What do you mean we don't do Indian accents?
I think we have
have
inadvertently
many,
before.
Oh, we have many times in the past. Come on.
Mental block. My
We're
therapist
not
is
doing Indian accents anymore.
Now, I'm assuming you mean dot, not feather. Just to double
Well,
check.
now we're out. Now we just lost.
Okay, by the way, he's done that before,
Yeah,
too.
you can just fast track your
Cab
way to.
drivers, not casinos, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Call centers at casinos. God, we're going to hell.
This is supposed to be a
I'm
comedy
driving.
show.
It's fine.
So, anyways,
my
I've been
gosh.
very curious about
We
the
love you,
pain
Annette.
studies. So there was a
I haven't got time for the pain.
yeah. So I guess there have been some studies
Chew
because
on
they
it.
don't know what to prescribe because no one has really used it. It's considered a Schedule A drug,
Right.
so it supposedly has no medical effects. Where like cocaine can be used as a number. It can be used as an anticoagulant or a coagulant. I think a coagulant. So
big
there's
difference.
other use. Right. Exactly. Like,
I feel like
Got a
opposites.
50-50 chance on that one.
As a nurse,
you're
I'm
reversing.
curious.
You're reversing an anticoagulant. Like you do cocaine up the nose for somebody that has like a massive nosebleed. It stops it up.
Right.
Has something to do with something.
Yeah.
So, anyways, this is so they haven't been able to test with it because it's considered to have no uses. So we're kind of flying blind, and I would like people to know that it's illegal in states. Like, let's start doing research on what works for pain. Like,
Right.
make the list. I suffer
Right.
from this kind of pain. I'm using this legitimately. I'm able to do this. My back. This works better for nerve pain. This
Right.
works for, this kind of pain. This works for aches and pains. There's a big difference. Like nerve pain, you can't touch it. If you have nerve pain, an opioid's not going to touch it because it's not what you're going for. So I'm curious that people use it and document it, and we get some idea of like, again, finger on the pulse of the opioid crisis.
Sure.
But if this is the way out of it to stop from addiction, then let's look into it scientifically and find out what does it really do.
Well, and when you see that,
Besides
when
make
you
a
can
party
see
better.
the signs, right, that if you have adults that are saying this, whether it's Jenny, whether it's you, saying this makes me feel better,
Right.
right? Okay, not that no one believes you,
But you want to know why.
but you want to know why, and if you can, as far as I'm concerned, look at someone who can't tell you why, but see the results.
Right. Then you have to believe.
That's fucking huge, and I'm talking about babies,
But then it's anecdotal.
right? With the,
Right. But then it's just anecdotal. It's not a scientific study. You need to know. So you kind of cut people up.
Right, but if you have a baby who's having seizures after
Right. Oh,
seizure
no,
after
that's,
seizure,
that's
that's what I mean.
That's
Like,
completely different. That's
okay.
That's not the THC. That's the that's the CBD.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
the CBD. So they're not getting
Okay.
the babies high, but that gets lost
Right.
in the.
Translation. Sure. That's true. I don't know where
Sure.
you just.
No, sorry.
Oh, that's
No,
okay.
no, you're fine.
My
I would have helped keep up the conversation,
I would
but I
just-
quit
I'd-
listening. So
It's on. If we were off camera, I could have done that on camera. But
Oh, I
we-
see.
yeah.
Like,
understood.
all I'm thinking of is like he fucking leaves every time we're about to go to a break. Why does he do that? I need him to tag this hour.
He has allergies. He needed to sneeze.
That's
So-
fantastic. But anyway,
So
yeah,
so
that's-
interesting, and I hope
forgot.
that it will start being studied,
No.
so we can find out what the thing is.
Cocaine in hospitals.
Yes, there's cocaine
That's
in
a-
hospitals.
Really?
Yeah. It was used by dentists for a long time. It's a numbing agent,
Okay.
and it does something to stop bleeding. But I'd have to look that up.
Okay. Interesting.
I don't know a lot about that.
I'm fine with not.
Little story before we get out of this segment. Police were called to investigate a domestic disturbance in a southern German town and found a man arguing with a parrot. A resident in Lorach, near the Swiss border, called the emergency number Monday to report his concerns about loud shouting from a next-door apartment that had been going on for quite some time. Police said Tuesday that officers sent to the scene found there was a loud argument going on, but it was between a 22-year-old man and a bird. The man told him that he had been annoyed with the bird, which belonged to his girlfriend. The parrot responded to being shouted at with loud noises of its own. Police said it couldn't speak, but it barked like a dog. Since no one was hurt, officers left.
Oh, there you go.
That's fantastic.
It tightens up blood vessels, so that's how it stops bleeding. Okay.
Okay, so there we got that answer.
Oh, that's funny.
Vasoconstrictor.
And I'm sure he's ready for this, so now we're going to go here.
Hit it.
We have a death that's kind of sad.
Oh, sad.
I've got lists on things that were canceled as of a week ago. I'm sure there's been more. And I have some recommendations for movies and what to do with your Netflix in this warm or cold weather.
Goodness, because we're in that weird space where all of the network stuff is ended and none of the streaming stuff is launching yet.
Right?
So I'm here to help you.
I need help
through these trying, difficult times.
Thank God for you.
Thank you.
Thoughts and prayers.
Entertainment.
Al Perkins.
Former atheist.
All right, if you believe all of that's going to happen, then stick around. We'll be right back after this. It's Q Talk America.
I'm here because I burned some bridges at Wendy's.
You're listening to Q Talk America. This is the Q Talk America Radio Network.
Hi again, everybody. Welcome back. It's the beginning of hour 3-ish. We may or may not end by 10 o'clock. We're not sure. We'll figure it out as we go along. Hi, it's Clayton McKee, Q Talk America. Kat Carlson's pouring herself another beer. Marnie Ryer is trying to read the chat room, and Al just took a leak. So we've got all these things going on. My God. The wine is working.
You went winky.
Something like that. Well,
3-beer kind of.
we've had quite a lot of discussions about cocaine, movies that are scary, movies that aren't scary, the benefits of pot,
Cops and poop.
cops and poop. Right.
Tati, as it were.
We've pretty
Shitty
much
stories.
we've covered a lot of ground on this show. So if you want to listen to it back, please do, and hang on for dear life. Coming up later, Kat Carlson with two things, but right now it's Al Perkins and his favorite segment, him.
Headlines is my favorite setting. Good. Entertainment! Okay, so we'll start with the Margot Kidder.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's just anytime.
Kinda God
Well, you
bless
got Brenda
her.
Vaccaro to choose from too.
yeah.
But anytime you have a little bit of a cough or a cold and you get a little raspy voice, oh, Superman. You know what I mean? You go right to
Sure.
that.
Suzanne Plachette's another one I love. That
Oh,
Yeah,
right,
voice.
right, right.
Yeah.
I forgot about her.
Oh, Bob! Oh, Bob!
So she's a fucking Canadian.
Here's your voice for the show.
Oh,
And
Hi,
she
Joey.
became an American, I feel like in the 90s to vote for. Oh, I can't remember. She became American just for an election, and
Oh,
now I
I
can't
did not realize
remember
that.
what the political cause was.
Ross Perot.
No.
No, she was a little quirky.
And
Or
young.
is.
She passed young. I mean, as far as I'm concerned.
In 2005, so she could vote against George W. Bush. That doesn't
Oh,
make
okay,
sense
so she's
because
okay.
2005 he'd already been elected twice.
She
So
wasn't that
clearly-
crazy. Oh, maybe she was.
Yeah, because he'd already been elected twice. So
She didn't
unless
understand.
she was just
Yeah.
trying to like twice to him and that was enough, she's gonna vote for someone else. Did a little work in movies, went away because of a director said she was kind of shitty, took some acting lessons, came back, famously played in all 4 Superman movies as Lois Lane. It turns out there's the town that she's from has a Lois Lane in that town, but it's actually named after an actual resident of the town, not after her playing Lois Lane. So that's kind of funny. She famously went a little batshit crazy, took out her teeth, started walking around saying her ex-husband was after her.
That was in
And
New
was
York,
found
wasn't
in
it?
someone's, I can't remember, but she was found
Yeah.
living under someone's porch and living in their garden.
Yep.
So she kind of became famous for that.
There was a horrible episode, well, horribly funny, of Family Guy where she was a guest at dinner, lost her mind, broke out a wall, and screamed out of the house and went running down the street. So,
Oh my god.
Yeah. And as she said, what happened to me, the biggest nervous breakdown in history, bar possibly Vivian Lee's, is not so uncommon. I'd have thousands of supportive letters from all over the world. It's just that mine was public. If you're going to fall apart, do it in your own bedroom.
Yeah.
So she did get help after
good
that and made
advice.
her way back, where Vivian Lee eventually, because Vivian Lee had Tourette's syndrome and
Oh.
bipolar disorder. So that's why Laurence Olivier stayed married to her for many years after like the marriage was over. Because
See where I'm going with that?
yeah, you betcha.
because she would like take off her clothes and on airplanes and be like really vulgar and
Provocative
and like
and,
no one knew she was mentally ill, and they were very sad that Vivian Lee
Oh, how
died before they could
interesting.
help her. And she played one of the most batshit people. You know, she won her second Oscar,
Yeah.
and you're like, was she just playing herself in a Streetcar Named
sure,
Desire? Because
Wow.
Blanche Dubois and her had a lot in common. And
Wow.
I think
I didn't
Jessica
realize
Tandy
that.
played that on stage, and someone famously said Jessica Lange was better because she was acting. Vivian Lee was just playing herself.
Okay.
So
okay.
I always thought that was kind of a mean-spirited quote, but I quoted
Right?
it again.
But yeah, but he'll keep saying it.
So, fun show on
That's
Netflix.
the one I wanted right there.
This month. Oh, not this month. It's been on. Unfortunately, it was not renewed. And I could tell by the way it ended that they were expecting to come back, and hopefully we can start a campaign to get them to
Which one?
Everything Sucks.
Oh, see, I just picked that up.
So
I'm just like the first episode in, and incidentally, the girl is older now and is a shirt tail character on Grey's Anatomy. That's
Oh,
right.
for
Good
God's
job.
How does she do it? How
You
does
called
she?
her a character.
Every
a
fucking
character.
she can
said a
bring
character.
everything back to that show.
Yeah, but
everything.
she said a character. If she firmly
Yeah.
believed they all were real,
She's
I
a
caught
real.
you.
No. Hang on. The doctors
Oh.
are real people,
Oh,
but
I
this
see.
girl,
Oh,
this Betty, I don't know who the fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know who the fuck this character is.
she comes. She sweeps in. She
oh,
goes
she
out.
is. She's Betty on Grey's Anatomy, and she's only a minute older. Because
She's 8 feet taller though.
yeah, I don't know when they filmed this. Everything Sucks. It is so charming, and it's got to be exactly the right age group for you.
It's super the right age.
Like
group for
they
me, yeah.
must. I was trying to think of like who I know that this is hitting.
They're
the sweet
really
spot
aiming
for
at
'em.
that, like born between 76 and 82, like that.
Mhm.
That micro generation that we've talked
Yeah.
about.
And
They call us Xenials.
Xenials.
Oh.
because it's Gen X
Between
and millennials.
Generation X and
Sure.
millennials, there's this like 4-year generation where we had technology as children, but still remember like the analog world.
Yeah.
Like we remember the kitchen
Sure.
phone, but we
Sure.
had cell phones in our hands pretty early,
Right.
So
in like my 20s.
So this is a cute story set in
Yeah.
1996, which is the year I started at the bar. So like every song hits just the sweet spot of like,
Yeah.
because I was like back into the music world through the bar, and then like karaoke, it was every song that people were dying for it to come on karaoke so
Sure.
they could do their own version of
Oh,
it.
and don't forget your dancing career.
Yeah, oh yeah. Fancies yourself a dancer. And it's terrific because it really is the people that you don't hear from much, that don't get their story told. The character is the African American kid. He
Okay.
turns out to be the main character. He's not the sidekick.
Oh yeah.
He's the one he's the filmmaker. He's the
I've literally watched the first episode and that's it.
yeah, so he gets the idea that he's in love with the girl who's the baby lesbian, and her story is just.
Wait,
What-
she's a baby dyke? Oh,
Oh, I thought that was out by the end of
Even
the
better.
first episode.
I don't know. I don't remember. I napped through some shows.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
I don't think you understand.
Stay awake for this one because I think you'll really
Yeah.
enjoy it. Like,
I definitely identify with like the flannel shirt tied around your waist and like just that. I should have been about that age.
yeah, and it's
Well,
it's
I mean, I
funny
was
that
about
they
that age.
they get the Oasis album and they pass it around, and Tori Amos is practically a character because Little Earthquakes means
'Cause let me tell you,
orgasms,
right.
and yeah.
Mind blowing.
So, but it's
Ridiculous.
really cute. I'm surprised they didn't pick it up, but I just caught it accidentally. It was forced upon me.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I was kind of doing something else and it made the switch. So I watched the trailer and I was like, all right, let's see what this is like.
Sure.
Because I was expecting it to be like a gloom and doom kind of thing. Oh, it's always sunny. It's a very sunshiny show.
Okay.
There's no like real villains.
Oh, that's
You know,
nice.
like the
That's
drama.
rare.
Yeah, the drama club kids are bad guys, but you know they're just over dramatic, and eventually everybody gets along and makes a movie, and it's just charming. And they're
Cute.
30-minute episodes. They're fast and furious,
Yeah.
and it starts with something that sucks, and every episode ends with something that's but just something that sucks when you're in high school. You know what I
Okay.
mean? And cute ways to ask each other out, and like
I've
the
seen that,
unrequited
yeah.
love, and everybody's in love with the wrong person.
Oh, I'm excited to finish it now.
So speaking of that, one of the cutest gay movies I have seen in a long, long while has been on my Netflix list for a long time, and I finally got around to watching it. Where do I write all this stuff down? It's called The Way He Looks. High school in Sao Paulo. So what does that make it? Brazil? I was trying to figure out. In Sao Paulo, blind kid at school and his best friend, and she's a little overbearing with her friendship. His parents are a little overbearing. A new boy comes into school. Possible romance ensues. Do they like each other? Is one in love and the other one's not? Or does the one really like a girl? You just don't know. But everybody's in love with all the wrong people, and it was
Okay.
just so cute and charming and well done. And they were just the cutest people.
And tell me again.
The Way He Looks.
Okay.
Came from a short story. The blind kid is totes adorbs, and his little boyfriend with his curly hair. It's just you just root for all of them.
Okay.
Like I just hope that some coupling of you ends up working out.
That's fantastic.
Oh, there's
Okay.
a sweet little kiss. So that was cute. And so after I watched The Way He Looks, Netflix forced, because on my TV it auto plays the next thing. Where if I watch it through the Blu-ray player, you watch the one thing, they're done with you. Good night, sir. We said good day. But on the
I said
TV
good
version,
day.
they keep forcing shit on you
Right.
and they hold you captive. And they made all good choices last night.
That's good.
So the way I got there was this movie out of England called God's Own Country. So sexy. Oh my God.
Oh.
I don't know how they went from the grown-up men's doing it to the teenage boys doing it, because that seemed like a Nambla kind of minute. But
I'm sensing a
I
theme.
mean,
Right.
it could have been like
did you search
gays
gay
in other
movies
gays in other
on-
countries. So
Nambla.
God's Own Country, farmer, and a really like kind of a Brokeback Mountain kind of story, but different.
Wish I knew how to quit you.
Yeah, it has that kind of feel about it. But a farmer in England takes over his family farm because his father gets sick, so he's
Was
there.
he in the Dell?
Yeah, yeah, did very well in the Dell.
It's just
So,
Hi
out of-
ho, Dario.
yeah.
the farmer in the Dell. That's right.
If that's how you want to phrase it,
I'm not gonna tell you how to live your life.
No.
yeah.
The farmer brings a wife. The
Yeah.
farmer brings a wife.
Oh,
Hi
ho,
ho,
Dario.
Dario. The farmer
Farmer in-
brings a wife.
Yeah.
how
I
do you know the
see.
second verse to that bullshit?
Because at some point you get to the cheese.
Oh, what
There's-
cheese?
The mouse brings the cheese.
There's cheese in this song.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's all I know.
I'm gonna say that I didn't know that part.
Well, my God, let's just look this
oh
up.
boy.
Come on. You
Anyways,
yeah.
so
continue on. I'm gonna do something here.
There's cheese in this song. That's
so,
all you need to know.
so really, really good movie set in like the moors in England. I don't know
The
where
moors?
the York. I think it's in
Yeah.
Yorkshire. So this young man guy has to be on the family farm, kind of depressed, kind of drinks too much. They have to hire a migrant worker from Romania. So hot.
Okay.
And the cool part about this movie is they made them go be actual farmers. So everything you see with like the animal husbandry and the birthing of the calves and like all the things that they do as far as like herding and caring for the animals was all real. Like there are no prop animals.
Okay.
Like when that sheep is born, that sheep was actually born and they had to do it. And when he checks to make sure how the cow is doing pregnant, he really did check her. I mean, it was so real. I was like, it feels a little bit like a home movie here.
Right.
But a really, really touching love story. You don't see that many about like grown-ups. You know, he's not really conflicted about being gay. He's just never really told anybody, and he does it on the dirty down low, but he's not like ashamed of it. Like his friends know he's gay, but that's not the issue. So it's kind of weird to have it like the gay part's not in any of these movies. The gay part's not. No one's gonna be horrified when they find out.
Okay.
It's just like telling people in your own time, and there's no reason to tell his mother because what am I gonna tell her?
Sure.
That I'm having sex in a bathroom with somebody that like there's no one to meet. I live out here in the wilderness.
Right. Sure.
What are we gonna do about it?
Sure.
Side note, I found out I'm not the only Mo in my family. I've got a distant cousin now that
Wow,
just came out
see?
on a family chat. I'm very excited.
Oh, there you
I
go.
know.
Now, second question:
Yeah.
Follow up.
Are you the cause of it?
Probably not.
Did you get the
because
toaster oven? That's
no,
how you'll
I
know.
Did you
didn't.
know? It's all like, well, I
Yeah.
think you're the reason.
I did none of these things. I've only met this kid literally twice in his life.
Okay.
He.
Oh, and it's a boy. Oh,
It's a boy.
You made a boy
Yeah.
one.
So my grandfather was in the hospital last week. He had heart surgery, and like it was scary for a while. Like, you know what I mean? They called my dad to come to Idaho to like help take care of things, and I was like,
this could be bad.
this could be bad
Right.
because this wasn't a planned event. It was a planned surgery, but my dad didn't plan to go. What the fuck? So we started a family chat with all of my cousins and everybody, and he just like kind of, oh, by the way, because I was like pushing the technology angle. I'm like, okay, grandpa's in the hospital. Hospitals are awful and boring.
Yeah.
So let's do everything that we can to like send love and messages. So we found an email thing through the hospital that they like print them out and deliver them in a cute way. And so we all did that. And then I started I recorded a video, just a little 2 minutes, hey grandpa, how's it going? We're thinking about you, love
That's
you.
awesome.
Apparently moved him to tears, and he told every nurse on the floor, which was very sweet.
Oh, that is nice.
Because I'm a grandpa's shadow, you know what I mean? I was that kid that was
You're his
everywhere.
favorite
grandpa was.
grandson.
Oh, so you really love the Goldbergs.
And I'm the first grandson.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. That's right. The OG.
I'm the first on both sides of my family, so I'm the favorite grandchild that went far, far away and never calls.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, it goes down to a couple
Good to
more
know
cousins.
your power.
Right.
Right.
I use my powers for good when I can.
Sure.
So we go, a couple people, post their little videos in the chat, and everybody's relaying to grandpa. And so my cousin's kid, who's now 20 years old and in the Marines, he records this video, and it was very sweet. Hi great grandpa, this whole thing. And then in the the very next comments, he says, something about me and my boyfriend, la la la. And I was like,
Ooh.
there's another Mo in my family.
Another Mo.
Another Mo. Hooray.
Congratulations.
So
You're the
proud
winner of this
him.
challenge.
I know.
But if they don't send the toaster oven, it doesn't count. You
There's
gotta.
a tear in my eye. I don't care if it's my fault or not.
Yeah.
I'm just glad to not be the only fucking one.
That's right.
That's
God.
very exciting.
I know. Carry on. I don't know what you were talking
Yeah,
about. I
so
took
if
it
you-
over.
It's okay. If you get a chance,
I shit on your
That's
Gay movies.
perfectly
gay
fine.
movies. For
Gay movies,
500.
God's own country. Really, it really was just for that you just never see a movie about this. People living out in the country and their struggle to find people. FarmersOnly.com has not come to them.
Right.
Sure.
And it was just very. I just thought it was a very good movie. And it was dirty.
Oh.
Dirty.
Yeah.
Hey.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm glad I'm watching this alone because that Romanian was hot. In the theaters,
Dumb.
Tully is out. Charlize Theron and
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Reitman. What's the son's name? Ivan. Is it Ivan Reitman? Is the son?
I don't know.
The director
gonna look that
Reitman,
up.
who did Juno, and it was
Right.
written by Diablo Cody, who wrote
Jason Reitman.
Jason Reitman.
Okay. Very well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So it's the team that brought us Juno
Uh-huh.
and
Okay.
and Young Adult, the movie that pissed people off because she was so unlikable. Now you get
Was
Tully.
He brought us Juno,
Was
Up
it
in the
you
Air,
that
Thank You for
was-
Smoking, Young Adult, Labor Day.
Yeah, and Thank You for Smoking. If you haven't seen it, is
Yeah.
a twisted motherfucker
Yeah,
of a
it
movie.
really is.
That one is crazy.
But this
Also,
is
Kindergarten Cop.
What?
the
Oh,
original.
funny.
It's listed as a Jason Reitman movie. Yeah, the Schwarzenegger one, Kindergarten Cop.
Wow, he must have been
Funny.
a baby.
I would guess so.
Who's his dad? Look up who his dad is.
Jason Reitman, who's your
Mr.
daddy?
Mr. Reitman.
No, but I think he-
Ivan Reitman.
who directed Ghostbusters, right?
Stand by.
Powerful lineage. Anyways,
It is.
really?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And Ghostbusters 2 and Stripes and
Oh my
Twice.
gosh.
Oh
yeah,
my
although
God,
he's
yeah.
he's Bill Murray's like partner in crime there for a while, so
Okay.
it comes from good movie stock.
It looks like it was a father-son duo on the Kindergarten Cop because it also shows up under Ivan.
Oh, okay. So they're the Schitt's Creek of
Sure,
that.
sure.
This movie is a great movie. It's and you could see where people are going to be offended by it.
Was that you that was talking about that? The kind of twist in this movie.
There is a twist, but because I saw it Wednesday night, so I
then because I don't remember then what I heard it on or whatever.
yeah.
But
It's kind of about It kind of takes a very frank look at postpartum depression.
right.
Just the
And yet it's people with postpartum that are getting upset about it.
and you don't know who you're going to piss off because it really has a lot to say about mental illness and as it relates is it mental illness or does she have an underlying illness is just postpartum depression.
Right.
They speak of the last baby having problems
Okay.
and then you see a very realistic portrait of a woman with 3 kids whose husband is working and thinks he's helping but
Right.
he really isn't.
Okay.
But no one's told him to do more. He thinks he's doing, and she gives him credit. Then you find out the stuff that he's doing off camera. So he's taking a burden, but he's not noticing the woman that he's living with that's struggling and
Right.
in a lot of trouble, and he's just not seeing it.
Okay.
And but it's just a terrific movie. The girl from the San Junipero episode of Black Mirror that I've talked about 100 times is Tully.
That fucking
and
show.
she is a winner. Oh my
Okay.
God, is she good?
Okay.
So it's
Is
really
that-
good.
Is that Mackenzie Davis?
Yeah, Mackenzie Davis in that terrific episode of Black Mirror. So this is just a lot of fun.
That show.
Okay, so I finally I was
I'm back
very,
on it. No,
I
I'm
was
back
very
in.
worried about the last episode because it was called Black Museum.
Okay, I'm not
and
that
I-
far, but go ahead.
I was just very trepidatious. I don't know. I just
It's a great word.
just could not face what kind of horror they were going to put into that one. It was one of the most compelling 75 minutes of television that has ever been produced, and I just didn't know I was just so worried, like, where are we going with this? And I can't remember what the girl is from that stars in the episode. Oh my gosh, everybody in it is so good. It's 3 stories that you can't figure out how they're related. You just can't make the connection of what anybody's after just spectacular. I mean, every season they just go out with a huge
Every episode
bang.
fucks me up to the point that I can't watch it again for another month.
And this one too. And again, and you're watching it and you're like, this could never happen. This could never happen. Are we already doing this?
Literally could happen right now. I just watched the one where the dude is all like Star Trek obsessed.
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
I'm like, what? This could literally happen right now.
Yeah, just put the gaming chip in your head.
What?
Yeah. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And then we'll just do the shows that have been canceled. So we'll just go over a quick list in case you're watching any of them so you can stop watching
I
them
saw
now.
there
Number
was quite a
one.
list of them.
Number 1, Rise, and thank fucking God.
Was it not good?
It's awful.
Okay.
Oh, well, that may be why.
I mean, I'm gonna finish it because there should be one more episode
That way you can say
tonight or
you
tomorrow.
didn't give up.
Right.
Right. Stayed with it.
They had great things that they could have done, and they did none of them. And it's just, if you've ever been to a steel town that the steel mill has closed up, that show feels like that.
Oh, okay.
And it's set in a steel town. You know what I mean? Steel mills closed up. You know, there's a dad that used to work at the steel plant that's now like the football coach, and it's just all like gray and depressing. And it's about a high school theater department. It should be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It should be a lot of
Glee
things.
in a steel town.
Well, you don't have to go full on Glee with it, but they're doing Spring Awakening in this like conservative steel town, and there's a lot of storylines that could be better.
Right.
You know what I mean? Everything in that show should be just better.
Right.
You know what I mean? There should have by now been at least one like show-stopping musical performance, but no, they just keep singing the first 12 bars of Mama Who Bore Me. I get it.
Oh, okay.
Right.
We didn't pay any money for songs.
Right. We didn't pay any money for
And
songs.
we're not writing any original ones.
And we're not writing an original storyline. Like, of course, the town got together. They're censoring the play. We did the run through for the principal with the censorship. Guess what's going to happen next episode? They're going to do the full fucking play.
Right. I already know.
I wrote this whole episode for you. I'm not surprised or entertained.
Right.
Please go away.
And that is on the list. But so is Scorpion, which I was surprised that
My future ex-wife, Catherine McPhee, is unemployed.
she's unemployed. I was surprised. I thought that show was doing better. Superior Donuts got canceled. Me, Myself, and I got canceled a long time ago. Kevin Can Wait got the axe.
Is that why she went to go do Waitress on Broadway? Because she got canceled?
They just found out. I think they were expecting another
Oh,
season.
were
I
they?
think it was just her
She was just on hiatus and had some time.
But suddenly she doesn't have a job.
Well, sure she does. She's in Waitress.
Poor Linda Lavin can't get another one to work. 9JKL got canceled. Were you watching that one?
No. I enjoyed. Like, I hadn't seen her forever, and when she was on the
New Normal. Right? No, she was on.
she was on the show where it was Jack McFarlane, Jack's World.
Oh yeah.
Briefly, and I thought it was great. She was a great mom to Jack. I heard that whole show. I just thought it was a great thing, and I enjoyed her. Her comedic timing's fantastic. It's all
And
good.
I watched one episode of 9JKL, and I was like, okay, I don't really get this premise of owning the whole floor, but sure. Kevin Can Wait, so Leah Remini's going to do another season of Scientology, because now they brought her in to save Kevin Can Wait, and she didn't.
So she's gonna go wreck that cult.
Another one that surprised me was Designated Survivor got canceled, but I've heard that Designated Survivor might get picked up by Netflix.
Okay.
That they're interested. Sometimes I think his shows are pro-torture. Like, I could never make it through 24 because I thought, is this just a way to get the nation to soften up to torture?
Okay.
Like, 24 just felt like...
Sure.
Quantico with that beautiful actress whose name Anand will share with us.
She is really cute.
She is gorgeous. That was canceled, and I thought that was doing better. Alex Incorporated, which I've been watching just because I like Zach Braff. But it really isn't that funny. So, no loss there.
Priyanka Chopra from
Yes.
Chopra?
I think it's Chopra. Taken, which they rebooted, fired Donna Summer's daughter. She was on the first season, was supposed to have a bigger part in the second season, then they revamped it without her, and now it's off again, and it's being shopped to other outlets. They're going to revamp it again, so just call it an anthology. Great News, which was terrible. That was the Tina Fey one.
Oh, I wanted it to be so good,
And
too.
it was so bad. Rise got canceled. Brooklyn Nine-Nine got canceled,
I
but
feel
then
like
it got...
Andrea Mitchell ruined that one because she was playing the same character in that and something. What else?
She was
playing
in
the same character in?
just
She was somebody else's.
Difficult People.
Yes.
Playing the exact same character.
I feel like she ruined Great News. I feel like that could have been way better without her.
Yeah, that gimmick was not. That gimmick just didn't make sense. But I guess that's what the show was based on. Was at some point they hired the woman who was writing the show in real life. Her mom came on to like help out her own work.
Oh, so it's
and that was like the premise. And I was like, you just didn't handle it well.
Yeah.
So Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which was canceled, but then NBC picked it up because they owned it. So I think they're going to do one more season. The Mick got canceled, which I was so annoyed with. That's a show with the blonde lady from Everything Sunny and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
That show is disturbing and wrong and funny. And they kicked it off. The Exorcist got canceled, and a friend of mine said I would have liked that. I didn't watch it, but he was convinced that that was the horror movie for me. So I'm sure there's a few more as they do their upfronts. I think Friday, tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, the networks will do all their upfronts. So, or I think NBC already did those because Deborah Messing, I think I saw an address She was at the NBC
She was on
upfronts.
Instagram talking
Yeah,
about
so
it,
they'll announce their schedules and show it to the advertisers and see who wants to buy. You know, they kind of like give them a taste of what's coming up next year.
Right.
Some things are sold because they don't make there's some shows that they don't do pilots for anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They just order 13 episodes, and then you just go. So,
dive
good
right
and
in.
bad. Some of it needed to go. Some of it I was surprised it was going, and some of it they just got to get better. Like you just like. Brooklyn Nine-Nine's a funny show, charming, and the Mick was so goddamn funny. I don't know if you watched that. The drunk lady that ends up taking care of her sister's kids while the rich sister is on the run from the law for tax evasion. And it's like the maid and her drunk boyfriend taking care of these 3 nasty kids, and it's so inappropriate. I don't know how half of it is on network TV, but it's fun. The first season at least is on Netflix. I don't know if the second season is yet. But
Maybe I'll have to look for that.
that one is kind of amusing. And
Netflix
she's
is still
so
open.
likable.
I'm still astounded at how many shows there are.
There's too many.
I think about it I think it like car lots. Like, how do they all survive? I just don't understand how all of them survive. How do all these shows survive? Clearly, not all of them do.
Right.
But still, you're like, holy cow.
And then you gotta what made 13 Reasons Why last year click with everybody.
With everybody,
Like,
right?
why
Yeah,
did
some
that
shows like get through, and some shows do not.
Because Stranger Things, I got that immediately. Like the first 5 minutes of Stranger Things.
I was a latecomer to that, but I was sucked in the minute I came
but
to
that's
it.
what I mean. The first time I saw it, I was like, okay, I know the theme, I know where we're going, I'm in. And then to find out that the rest of the world liked, 80s trashy movies as much as I did, and so something that's kind of giving you that genre shot for shot. But 13 Reasons Why I don't get.
The Mick is not on Netflix at all.
Oh, it must be on Hulu or something.
It must be on Hulu.
I would say Harrison and I watched it when we were in San Diego.
Hulu, maybe. 13 Reasons Why, I got sucked into that one.
Oh, I did too, but it's not one that you would expect to have mass appeal. That's not one that you think, and it had a closed end, so there was no reason for a sequel.
I don't know what they're going to do with the second season.
I don't know. It comes out in a couple weeks.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? It's like The Handmaid's Tale. I'm like, why did you need a second season? What the? I don't know. Clayton McKee.
Is that
Yeah, we're done.
Okay, I'm going to take us back to something a little bit, just because
Let's do it.
educational.
Sure.
Yeah, we want to put a stick a pin
We're
in it.
about education. We're pro education here.
I'm going to go back to the Farmer in the Dell nursery rhyme here. I'm going to shortline it. I'm going to shortline it. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but I'm going to tell you how we get to cheese. Because I figured that's really the goal, isn't it?
It's important that there's cheese in this.
Farmer in the Dell, blah, blah, blah. Farmer takes a wife. Then wife takes a child.
Yeah.
Child takes a nurse.
Yeah.
Nurse takes a cow. Cow takes the dog. Dog takes the cat.
Cat takes the mouse.
Cat takes the mouse. Mouse takes the cheese. The cheese stands alone. And that's
So
when
that's how we get that expression.
That's how we get it. Yeah.
the cheese stands alone. I never knew
Anant
that.
is screaming at us from the chat room.
About what?
Oh,
This-
Childish Gambino is Glover, the guy from Community.
Donald Glover.
Donald Glover, Atlanta. He has a band called Childish Gambino. The video is really good. I can't think of what the song is.
This is America.
This is America. And it's all playing out behind him. Like all kinds of racial injustice and strife is all playing very subtly in the background while he's like dancing in his car, kind of Michael Jackson, black or white-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And he did it on he was on SNL. Funny monologue, funny parts to the show. He did the 2 songs because he was also the musical guest as Childish Gambino. I don't think I'm really in tune with all he's selling. Like I never heard. Again, I don't hear new music till they come on SNL.
Right.
Like unless I'm at a bar and somebody plays a song, or I'm on vacation and my friends listen to the radio, I don't know any music until summer vacation or they're on SNL. And so the song was good. It was like the performance was. I didn't understand why he didn't have a shirt on. I hadn't seen the video. I didn't know what we were going for. I didn't get the references to the video. So
he didn't have his shirt on SNL.
Yeah, because he did the song that and what did you say the song was called?
This is America.
Yeah. And I knew I was missing something. Like I knew there was something that I wasn't quite getting about what was going on the TV, but they weren't conveying the video. They were just kind of like giving you pieces of it to make you go look. But it's very provocative, and they're catchy songs.
Oh, good.
It wasn't something. It's another one. It's one of those things. It's not really for me. Like I get it. He's good. I like Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
But like musically, Okay.
Not for you. Right.
Yeah.
There it is.
Got it. All right.
Good job.
We're moving on because that's
Okay.
what we do here on Q
Here we
Talk
go.
America. We move the fuck on. Two things is what she brings. Two things is what she's talking about. Two things, important little things. That is what she's spouting out.
You just need two things.
That means two things.
Let's get two things clear.
And then two things about yourself.
And I've come to share with you one of two things. No, two of two things. We're sharing two things right now.
There are only two things I can't stand in this world.
Quick, grab two things you love.
It can be two things.
Only two things in the world I'm scared of.
Rise of frazzled two things.
Remember two things.
I believe in two things.
Guys are only after two things.
What's better, doing two things at once or just one?
Never half-ass two things. Whole ass one thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kat Carlson.
A white woman in Oakland, California called the police on a black family for using a charcoal grill in a park barbecue zone not designated for charcoal, and the internet has never been happier.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, their crime, according to the unidentified woman, who I think has now been identified.
Oh, I think she's been at it everywhere, yeah.
She's literally everywhere now. Their crime was grilling in one of the park's designated barbecue zones using a charcoal grill instead of a non-charcoal grill.
Damn them.
Sons of
Listen,
bitches.
today I only have one thing, and one thing is...
This is enough
maybe
of-
it's
this
two
is
things.
no.
Maybe it's two things, because one thing is white women, mind your fucking business. Those people over there barbecuing, are they hurting you?
Yeah.
No, leave them the
How
fuck
about most?
alone.
How about most everybody mind your
no,
fucking
because
business?
white women are horrible.
No, I agree,
Yeah.
but still, everybody's in too many other people's
Listen.
business to begin with.
Self-righteous, do-gooder white women are
Gladys Kravitz.
awful.
Oh.
Not even Gladys. You know, Gladys Kravitz was looking out for her neighborhood,
And there was shit going on
and
across
there
that
was
street.
shit going on across the street.
There
Like,
was.
There was a
witch.
lot of nose twitching.
She saw the gay Uncle Albert
She had
there.
reason to be suspicious.
For real. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a difference
Flamer.
between watching your street and knowing what your neighbors are doing and being fucking a nosy bitch while you're walking through the park about people who are minding their own business.
Fuck.
Dear white women, shut the fuck up.
And isn't there
leave people alone.
Isn't there a funny picture now, a meme of of
So-
the cast of Black Panther?
So many
There's
of them.
so many of them, and we're gonna roll through some of
Oh,
them.
good,
now.
good.
People, I love the internet. I always have from the very first day
Cat
of the
videos.
internet. I love it. There's cat videos. There are memes. There are Photoshop contests. There are wonderful things that the internet does, and one of those.
So I feel like there needs to be a little bit of a backstory for people who may
Let's.
not understand what this is. So there was a video. This woman was calling in about these people.
Oh, sure.
There was.
I can read the whole thing if
There
you
was
like.
video taken of her doing this. So
Oh yeah. So there's a bystander who, what is her name? It's right here.
Ellen. No, what was her name last week?
Good,
the bystander.
No, it was-
good white woman.
Hannah. Hannah was everyone's bystander last week.
Hannah was last week's bystander. This week's bystander, her name is Michelle Snyder.
Oh,
And so
Michelle.
Michelle Snyder like pulls out her smartphone and starts videoing the white woman.
Who's on the cops throwing a
Right,
fit.
who's calling the cops? Well, they're not supposed. I know that they're not supposed to be barbecuing here, and they're not supposed to use charcoal. And I know, and I'm gonna call the cops. I'm calling the cops. I'm on the phone with the cops right now. There's an entire video of this woman just being awful, and in the background, there's a nice family having a fucking barbecue by the lake,
Right.
on a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday, whatever fucking day it was. Minding their own business. They're not hurting anybody. They're not lighting the place on fire. They're not even putting up illegal fireworks, which is something that I do at barbecues.
So they took a part of this video. They took the image of her on the phone, and they're putting
Yeah.
it in every picture of everything.
Do the potato salad one first. That's my
Here's the
favorite.
first one.
Says, yes, officer, I'd like to report no one is eating my potato salad.
Oh,
And she just looks,
like a
she looks
horrible
hateful.
bitch.
She's got those awful Oakley Shield sunglasses
Right.
on.
Yeah.
And the guy in the
Downturned mouth.
background is the guy she's calling the cops
Yeah,
about.
going, what the fuck are you
my
doing,
God.
woman?
So here she is
She has
at
that
Soul Train.
downturned mouth.
Hello, officer, I would like to report some dancing. We're living in Footloose right here, and you can't dance in this county.
You can't dance in this county.
Right. Here, I report some scratching and surviving.
Oh my god.
Good times. Ain't they lucky we got them? Here's another one. She went back to Soul Train. Apparently, black people graduating is a bad thing.
Right?
I'm at
barbecuing
HBC,
is bad.
and I don't know if these people go to school here or not, but they're throwing things all over the place. They're throwing these boards up in the air.
Yeah,
It might hurt
I don't
somebody.
know what they're
Joe
doing.
thought that was a guy.
This is
The person calling it. It does look like one.
report excessive seasoning.
Isn't that the cast of Soul Food?
Oh my God, that's
I have no
Yes.
funny.
Could be.
Yeah.
It's not, but
Oh, I thought it was.
no.
Funny.
Of course, this one she's.
Yeah.
Now this one actually made me laugh out loud when I saw this yesterday. She's like, "That's right, I said tan suit."
Because
She's
I know it's not funny if they don't have some kind of caption to go with them. I don't enjoy the memes without some kind of clever
know,
wordplay.
right?
Because don't you remember the controversy that was the tan suit?
Oh
Right.
God,
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
so disrespectful.
The world lost their damn mind when the president wore a tan suit.
Yeah.
Oh, this one I didn't even understand the context and I thought it was funny.
Oh, never mind.
I just saw white woman. So it's
Oh,
Rachel.
that's funny.
What's her name?
Dolezal.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this one made me laugh. And if you're of a certain age, you may understand it. If you don't, you look it up. I heard one of them talking about dynamite.
Oh my.
That's good.
Do you have the one with the cast of Black Panther?
I don't. I'm sure it doesn't take much to find it.
Yeah.
It's probably in that Buddy Early thread.
Oh,
Maybe
that's
it is.
funny.
Let me go back to the Buddy Early.
But
Some
this
guy
is
was talking
this
about
is like a
Dynamite.
comedic end to what feels like a month, but was probably a week, full of stories about white people just calling the cops on black people doing nothing.
Oh, the two guys in
There's the
Starbucks.
right?
Yeah, that's
Right.
no,
the
it's
guys
been
at
a while.
Starbucks. This one in the park. There was another one that I pulled up.
What a horrible bitch. Like, what is your deal? Are you that fucking miserable in your life?
Completely.
Yes,
Right.
they are.
I've
They
got-
really
I've got
are.
a story about a black sorority who were performing community service. So a sorority is out there cleaning the fucking highway, and people call the cops, and they're detained.
Unbelievable.
Till they find out what they're doing.
Right.
Right.
Till they find
Yeah.
out what they're doing. There's the story of Bob Marley's daughter checking out of the Airbnb.
Oh, I
Wasn't
didn't
it
hear
his
about
daughter?
that. I don't
Yeah.
know.
There's a black realtor who's getting ready to show a house, and a woman across the street calls because there's a black man walking around a house.
Oh.
Like,
Just awful.
And not, I'm like, I'm sure he's not in a black hoodie walking. He's probably in a suit or a tie, getting ready to show a
At
house.
the very least, a polo.
Sure,
Yeah.
like he's and probably driving a
sword
nice,
wear, if you will.
probably driving a nice car if you're a realtor, I would assume, because you're gonna have to take people around and show them
Usually.
houses. I'm looking for in this list on Buddy Early's page. There's a whole list of them, but I can't.
Oh, that thread got hilarious.
Yeah, I can't.
You don't see the black band.
I don't,
Anyway,
I don't see it. There's one.
go ahead and Google white woman barbecue, and then go to images, and they're all
Yeah,
fucking
they're all
there.
there
Like,
for you.
They're all there.
There's one where she's on a picture cover of Kingsford Charcoal, where they're just gonna light her up.
No charcoal fires.
And we're back to Mommy Dearest.
Right?
See how we did that?
We did that real quick. We did that really good.
And somebody put this on, which I thought was cute, where they put her on where she's running, fearful of men on film.
Wait, what? Does she start crying in the middle of the video
Oh.
or
Well,
something?
so basically, the cops come and they
No.
tell her to mind her own fucking business, and she gets upset at the end of the
Well,
video.
the woman who's filming this whole video, she's just going after her. Oh, all of a sudden it's white woman privilege. I got the white attitude because the family who was being antagonized is like, she's doing a total different act than she was before you got here because she was on them like, yeah, and so the white woman filming is like, wait a minute, you're mad because they're black, so you were nice to me, so thank you for giving me the white woman privilege reaction rather than the, and then she just went after her. Well, when the cop arrives, this woman loses it and breaks down and is crying next to a Tahoe.
saying
She's the victim.
saying she was being harassed.
Yes, harassed. So she totally loses it and cries.
Yeah, because there's the one that's in like a Culver's or something, where the family goes in and the woman starts yelling, and it's two officers. I think it's the one is pregnant. It's two female military members. The one is pregnant, and the white woman is all offended that they're gonna get a table first and starts yelling at her, and then like kind of slaps the pregnant woman.
Oh
my god!
And people call the cops, and somebody's filming the whole thing, and the lady's like, "Don't you video?" And she's getting mad at the videotaper because they're catching all of it on camera.
Right.
Well, it turns out the cop was inside the restaurant eating and saw the whole thing and just took this old woman, and she was like 70 years old, just took her, handcuffed her, put her right in the car, and the family's like, no, they were doing us. And he's like, you hit a pregnant member of our military. I
Right.
saw it. You're
Right.
getting in
You're
the car.
getting in the car, lady.
And the family's all screaming. And I swear, I wanted it to end with them just going inside and getting the custard and the chicken. Well, Grandma got arrested.
Well,
Racist
grandma's in the
racist-
cop car again.
But
Who wants chocolate?
It's horrible. The whole thing's, it's all on tape, and she's then trying to, like, pretend it didn't happen. It's like, we can just show you. And of course, a 2-top's going to get set before a 5-top. That's just the rules.
That's how that happens.
Yeah. It's
And who could see it? Can't have been a Culver's because a Culver's is a fast food joint.
Yeah, I don't know, but it was something.
Some casual dining establishment.
That's the nicest way to say it.
Isn't it? Yeah. That's what they call them. Casual dining establishment.
KFC with chairs.
Right.
Now, if you want
basically Applebee's.
If you would like to watch the video, go to Facebook, and I'm sure you can probably find it on YouTube as well, but on Facebook, literally type in "white woman calls police" and you will find the video. It's like a minute and a half, and it's the whole thing of where they're filming her, and they've got it edited down to where we go from she's ranting at them to it's the white woman privilege attitude to crying next to a cop car.
Yeah.
The whole thing is right there.
Just awful.
Awful woman.
And I understand that maybe it takes a little bit of conscious effort to take a step back and say, okay, like this is how I feel at first reaction, and then I'm
now
gonna look,
calm
and
it
now
down.
I'm gonna do another thing. Like
Yeah.
I get that it takes a lot of conscious effort sometimes.
But calm the
Yeah,
fuck
Jenny
down.
says Cracker Barrel. That might have been it. That's
That
where I'm
feels
going
right.
for it.
That
yeah.
feels right.
That's
Which odd name.
that's the and
Yeah, right?
wait,
I do like their
But-
food.
I would say,
intentionally
but
named.
let me tell you, the
Man
chicken and
hates the
dumplings from
gays.
there.
Oh, on
I will accept donations of that at any moment.
I-
Mine is the biscuits, and that's the first place I ever had biscuits and gravy, and I'm like,
Oh.
Oh.
this is fatty and fabulous.
That's
Yeah.
a good thing.
It
The
is.
chicken and dumplings is the same thing, but instead of sausage flavored, it's
chicken flavored. There you go. It's like blueberry and raspberry, interchangeable.
Burries. That's all we need.
2 burries, 1 elegant solution.
That's right.
2 unidentified meats,
Yeah.
unidentified meats.
Anybody-
Stop being so racist, and the internet is going to make fun of you if you are.
I don't.
But-
I don't have one. Does anybody have a thoughtful subject we need to beat to death? Or are we
Well,
good?
I thought we did have
what did we
one.
do?
One from your page from I guess it was last week.
From my page?
Oh, tell me more. Tell me
Shut
more.
up! What did I?
Do you want to play the song or do you want to just do it?
Well, I can play the song. I just don't remember what the hell we got going. But let's do this and make magic, people. Here we go.
I like songs.
And now, thoughtful vulgarity, where we in the studio try to make ourselves slightly less shallow, which is not hard to do. We will ask one question of the panel while fucked up drunk. Because you know at home how well it goes when important questions come up several hours after alcohol has been served. Politics, religion, why not? What could possibly go wrong? Who could you offend? Good luck.
Oh, are we on? Okay.
Yes,
so,
we are on. That's why I said your name.
I didn't hear myself breathing. So, you had posed something that blew your mind last week on the page about how you see yourself and how other people see you is radically different.
It was very interesting. If you can't find it, I'll find it on my page and read it what I actually posted because it was a very interesting thing that freaked me out because I never really thought about it.
I think that originated from Gina Florio, right?
You're 100% right. It was. You
pay
are
attention to
our
the
friend
internets.
Gina, who is down, as she likes to refer to it as, on the other side of the wall, down in where is she? In Cabo San Luke? No. Where is she?
She's somewhere in Yucatan.
Got it.
Oh. The Yucatan
Oh,
Peninsula.
I also did a lovely post about the snooze button on Facebook. If you don't know about it, figure that out. It's lovely.
Oh, I did. figure
Lovely
that out.
things how you can do that. But yeah, the post was about how your perception of you is very, very different because only you know you and you think you know how you are portraying yourself to everybody else, but that's not at all what they think you are.
Right. And so I guess the question would be, what do you think is reflected back? Like, what do you think someone else sees in you? And then how do you get those to come closer together?
Marnie?
Nope.
What do you mean nope?
That's
You
you.
always go first.
Let me back up.
Just because you and you spoke first, that means you.
Just because you got a new attitude doesn't mean you get to go second.
Before you answer, I found my post. Let me read this to you. It won't take but a second. Let me read this. The headline of the post was, "A different version of you exists in the minds of everyone who knows you." This is a post that says, "I read a book that blew my mind. The main character goes crazy when he realizes that no one really knows him. The gist is that the person you think of as yourself exists only for you, and even you don't really know who that is. Every person you meet, have a relationship with, or make eye contact on the street with creates a version of you in their heads. You're not the same person to your mom, your dad, your siblings that you are to coworkers, your neighbors, or your friends. There are 1,000, this is what really fucked with me. There are 1,000 different versions of yourself out there in people's minds. A you exists in each version, and yet your you, yourself, isn't really someone at all." And I'm like, God, that's just crazy to think of. I just never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
Because you think, well, I'm me, and everybody knows me as me, but clearly.
I've never shown you someone else.
And of course, like a mother, a child, a sibling is going to be different to you than to someone else. Like someone who, provided you with food and shelter is going to be a different person to you than they are going to be to their...
He was always a quiet neighbor.
Yeah, coworker.
Right.
And there's
he
the
mowed
other
down a
version
post
of like
office.
the BTK killer. Here's someone who was in the church family, as all the white guys are that are serial killers. Usually sociable. Depending on how they kill people.
Sociopaths are real charming.
Yeah. But read Mindhunter and you'll find out how you know they're not, how you find out they're not. So, Marina.
No, she talked first.
I guess there's new rules in play.
Yep, she
What
talked
the
first
fuck
before
just
you did.
happened?
You did. You took it upon yourself.
I did no such thing.
I'm presenting you with the real me, so fucking talk.
So again,
The real you's kind of an asshole, first
so
of all.
forgive me. What was your question
So the
on
question is what is it you think that you're sending out? Like, what is it that you think people think?
You're strong, confident white woman. Is that what you are?
Right.
Val Perkins, ladies and gentlemen.
What? Or should we do it to each other?
Oh God.
Would that be worse? Have we all been drinking?
No, we haven't all been drinking, but I don't like it when you say on the air, "Let's all do it to each other."
Fair point.
In the
It gets
butt, Bob.
awfully It gets uncomfortable.
I mean,
after
I
a
like
while.
all of you a lot.
Yeah. So Jenny brings up an interesting part of this, and this is for my times in therapy.
Sure.
That, and it's a very important point that someone else's perception is reality. So whether or not
it's their reality.
whether
right.
or not you meant to hurt their feelings, or whether or not you meant to make them feel better, their perception of it is what happened to them. Like you can't alter that, and that is their reality. That's how they perceived it is what happened.
Right.
You can own it or apologize.
Because how many different times have you been somewhere and you talk to somebody and, oh, do you know blah blah blah? I'm like, oh yeah, they're a real asshole. And you're like, oh wow, I never got that at all from them.
Right.
Like I've never had a problem with them.
I swear it was a love slap. I didn't mean it.
Yeah. And that's
I thought it was just a loose tube.
But now the perception, not reality, is different, as in like how you perceive someone else.
Sure.
That's not necessarily a reality. I'm talking about like something
That's my reality.
That's your reality, but it doesn't make it. In that case, it doesn't make it real. But if you've done something to someone else and they perceive it one way, then that's done. That's sealed in stone.
Yeah.
If that's what they got out of the interaction, then that's what they
You may not
got.
have meant it. You may apologize, but
that's what
still,
that's what happened. But as far as like meeting like your guy at the grocery store that checks you out, your groceries, not checks you out.
Yeah.
But that's
How do you know?
That's all. But that's your
I
relationship.
don't have a lot of guys at the grocery store checking me out.
3209.
So yeah,
3209.
3209. So there's a time where you can't imagine that guy remains animated when he's not behind the register. Like you just assume he just gets folded up into a box and put away when you no longer need him.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
It's like I don't recognize you without your scrubs on. Like it would be that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, you're out in public. You're wearing a green shirt. What's up?
Right. Oh, that's a great example of like people only see you in that role.
Right. I didn't recognize you in your headset from McDonald's or whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Cat, you have legs. You don't have a bar in front of you.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yep.
So what do you think gets put out there?
Wait, say, please repeat the question so that we're clear, and then I will answer
So
first out of turn.
Yeah, what is it that you think you're putting out there, and then how do you make the two come closer together?
Okay. So I hope what I'm putting out there is for the most part, just like a friendly, welcoming face. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I've reached the point in my life where I should live by that. Be the person you wish you had met when you were younger.
Oh, okay. I like
You know
that.
what I mean? Like I saw that several years ago and was fairly moved by it because you know what I mean. I had struggles or whatever as a youth.
As a youth? Yeah.
You are from Utah, so
When
it's
you was-
appropriate.
when you was a youth.
Right.
Yeah.
I know.
Now we made a double entendre on
We
it.
like
That
it.
was hard to do.
Yeah, but we weren't a Ute family. We were an Aggie family.
Oh.
Yeah, it was all about. Anyway.
All right.
Anyway, it was all about Utah State, not the U.
Fair.
Whatevs.
Fair. Yeah.
Because they had the agriculture program. Anyway, so I always hope that I'm putting that out there, to be that person that I wish that I had met years ago. Somebody that was like open and helpful and, you know, willing to listen and willing to like help you through your struggle. That's the thing that I hope that I put out there. The thing that I think that I am is awful.
That's on my list.
So you're still working on that. Just asking.
Like the part that
Yeah.
nobody sees is awfully judgy and kind of bitchy and doesn't have a lot of patience and I hope that that's
Well,
not
she
not
sounds
coming
like a charmer.
She's an asshole. We hate her. We hope that we only see the public face of Kat Carlson because the rest
Fair
of
point.
it,
Sure.
not cute.
Sure.
Not cute.
That's funny.
Barney?
No. Clayton.
Oh, that's
What the
me.
hell?
Yeah.
I don't run this show. I don't know.
I just have some control. Just one time in a day. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
I believe that I send out there's an edge to a lot of it, meaning that I know that there's a little bit of a bitchiness about me that I think a lot of people have it. It's part of a security screen.
What?
But clearly, based on the feedback that I've received over the years from others, there is, and again, it's part of the act, it's part of the portrayal. There is a confidence and he's got it all together. He's got it, he's got all that, or that's one aspect of it. The other one that I think I put out to certain people is that I'm a go-to friend, or I'm the lean-on person. I think that there are a ton of people out there, and it's partially because of don't ask me a question if you don't want the answer.
Right.
And then I become, well, you're a jerk, or you're the asshole because I didn't give them the answer that they wanted to get, or whatever. So there are some people out there, and others that I've worked with, be it in shows, bars, whatever, that I'm like, no, this is how we're going to do it because I've done this before, and they want to do it some other way, and I'm like, no. And so I'm just the dick. I'm just the asshole of the thing, which is fine. But I
But
think...
anytime you have an opinion on anything, you're going to be the dick to someone.
Right. So, but I think, again, based on the majority of the feedback that I've received from people, like the kid that walked up and, he remembered me, he felt comfortable because, like, when he first came out, the one who said I was the landmark, that story that I've told before, I got the word wrong, but it's like, again, he'd already seen me. I was a comfortable face and voice to him when he first came out and he was around, and a lot of other people are like that. But I don't. It would be interesting and maybe even heartbreaking to get an anonymous
depiction?
list of 50 random people who.
Yeah.
What do you really think of person X?
Yeah.
Not what you think of them, but what's
your perception?
Yeah, what's your perception? Because you don't want to be like, well, he's a dick because he was mean once. But what's your general feeling? What do they
convey? Yeah.
Which I guess could include, and he was a dick.
Yeah, right.
First of all, what a fun game to play. When are we going to go and just sit at a bar and play this game?
We
Exactly.
do.
What are you doing?
Here's what I think.
Yeah,
As soon as we get off the air.
So, okay, so I'll give you get off the hook one more time. So what, because there's
fuck world are we living
there's
in?
a second part to the question, though. Like,
Oh.
what do you do? Well, let's do that part. So you go next. We'll get to that at the end and see if we all have the same
Follow-up
answer.
question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
follow-up question.
I would say that I convey that, or what people see is that I'm always on. That it's not
On
today.
stage?
Not today.
Not
I was
today.
just thinking
mean
that
like-
in
Not
my
today,
head.
Berta.
I was literally thinking that in my head.
You mean like on stage, like
Yeah,
you're
like
that?
I'm always on. That
Up
I'm
and
always
cheery
like
and-
up and cheerier, or even if I'm snide a little bit like today, that clutch my pearl.
Just a little bit.
Listen back to hour
You
one of
don't
this week.
say.
Get out. But
No, really, get out.
Yeah. No, I meant to. Do you need me to
Seriously.
move the chair?
Get out.
But
Settle down.
that people would think that that's the case. Again, whether I'm snarky, whether I'm funny, if I'm that, whatever. But that is just so not the case, right? And sometimes that's what I want to present, and I like doing that, but I don't think that I even understand the question still. But yeah, that's what I think people would think. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, it's kind of like if you looked in the mirror and saw what someone else saw, like what do you think they're getting? What do you?
Oh, someone horribly uncomfortable in herself, so she's presenting a smoke screen of funny and you know, that kind of thing. Yeah,
like maybe they see through the veil.
Sure. I would think some people would.
Yeah.
It's not what I saw today.
Oh, I don't give people that much credit. I don't think they can see through the veil. I think most people
maybe
are
they don't look closely enough.
I don't think they look closely enough, and I think they're much more concerned.
I think they do.
No.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's the highest percentage.
Yeah.
There are people who can see through all of it, but I think the majority, they're so much more concerned with what's going on with their self that they don't look deep enough
maybe
in anybody
they're afraid
else.
You're seeing what they're putting out there, or not putting.
Could be.
Right.
I don't think enough people think of, oh, they're funny. I think they're hurting inside. I don't think a lot of. I don't think enough people are like that.
It always depends on the jokes. Like people that are.
Yeah, but this whole bullshit about self-deprecating kind of stuff.
I was gonna say that's the first thing I went to.
Because Erin will say that like a lot. Oh, you know, stop being. She always says, stop being mean to my girlfriend, right? When I'm sitting there and I'm putting myself down. It is something that truly, when you go back to where did that start? Yeah, 6th grade. This was it's easy to see, and this is what. But now sometimes that's just funny.
Right.
I mean, at the gym today, the gal gets done, the trainer, and she says, all right, how's everybody feeling? You got a 6-pack and biceps? And I said, 6-pack and biceps? Got a keg and a bump. I mean, like, what are you talking about? And
Ooh, another double entendre.
There you go.
Could make gym class fun.
Right.
And it sounds like you're going to get birth to the prom. What's the bump from?
Did you see Mom's post there? Mom and I said you try too hard to please everyone.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
No, and I know we've talked about that before.
Sure.
You've always been that way.
Yeah, just trying like plates too full, plates overflowing, but I'm gonna try to figure it out, and I just need to be like,
Yeah. It's hard to learn
The
how to say
answer,
no, thank you.
the answer is not a second plate.
Yeah.
Just clean off the one plate.
That one I can help you with. I teach classes on no thank you.
Oh.
Thank you.
It does not include wine.
Yeah, you're right, Mom and Dad.
Then that's not a class I want to attend. I say no, thank you.
I say nay.
I said good day,
wine
sir.
shows up. So
good day.
I would say that I come across a lot of times like I think people would see what I'm doing as being like really insensitive. Like sometimes I don't.
Again,
you don't say.
Should we go back?
Yeah.
I think I can drop the music out of this section.
Ain't nothing thoughtful.
And that can be probably true based on this reaction.
I feel like some of that has to come with your profession, though. Like
You've been with me my whole life, though.
Yeah. So you went into the right profession.
From the beginning.
And there's always that worry at work that people see me as just being exhausted and unorganized. That I just come across as running around with the chicken with my head cut off. But then I'll get feedback and I'm like, okay, so clearly that wasn't. I'm keeping some kind of composure while I'm handling something that people look to me where I'm like, I just feel like the barn's on fire and we all gotta just get the fuck out. Leave the horses.
Turn them loose. They know how to get out.
Pulling orphans out of everywhere.
There really is. And sometimes it's the fact that I find shit funny that I shouldn't find funny, so I'm making a joke, and I'll see it on someone's face like, I'm just the dick to them that is making a joke about something that shouldn't be funny, but you just gotta find a way to laugh at some of it.
Right.
And I can, unfortunately, make a joke out of just about any situation. It's gift/curse.
Did you see what Mom and Dad says?
Yeah.
Welcome to my club, Al.
Right.
Sure.
And there's that worry that I don't, and there's just some things that I feel are too much for me to feel that
Okay.
I'm like, I just have to take a step back because if I go down that well,
Right.
she ain't coming back. You know what I mean? So
Right.
that's
Baby Jessica's gonna be down there a while.
yeah. So that's kind of a hard line to
Baby
draw. Of like,
Valerie.
I just need to take 2 steps back.
Yeah.
Valfred over there.
Baby Valfred.
In more formal circles, baby Valfred. So now, what do you think is the solution to this? And anybody can go first, because
What are we solving? Wait.
Yeah, what are we solving?
the difference
Fuck, I
between
talked first again.
the difference between what people are perceiving of you or perceiving you and what you are.
They need to pay attention.
That's right.
That's
Fucking listen to me.
that's fair.
Listen
That's,
to what I don't say.
oh.
Oh.
There's
'Cause
all of
I
those
never
people.
shut up.
Those
Let me
all
tell
of
you.
those people
Let me
in
tell
the
you how many
world.
times I've dated that girl.
Yeah. We've been her, we've
Every
dated her,
time.
we were raised by her, we gave birth to her. Like, everybody knows that chick.
Listen to what I'm not saying
Smart
to
of
you
me,
right
Doc.
now.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Barbara Streisand!
Right, exactly. It's going to come out at the worst possible moment if you don't say what you're
Is
thinking.
everybody gay?
Yeah. So, but what do you, so, I mean, that's one answer, but that's actually 2 answers. Don't be the girl who wants you to hear what she's not saying,
Right,
and
right.
people should pay attention more. But like, that's kind of passive. What can you do? What can you do to solve that if there's someone that, you know, just you know, their perception doesn't meet up with you as the person?
Oh, and then I find out, were to find out, like, how would I convince them? Well, clearly,
I mean, hostage situations off the table.
No, but,
Let's just
Damn it.
Unless you're Patty Hearst.
let's just take the easy
but I
answer.
Unless
think
you're a small
I think
dog.
I've actually already experienced this because over the years, obviously when I was much younger, as I think a lot of us were.
I was younger. That's true.
No, we're all younger.
Just
Also
yesterday.
younger.
I think a
Just
lot of us,
yesterday.
when we were younger, your fangs were longer when your fangs were sharper when you were younger. When you were serving, I think when you were serving in BS West and you were around that snark environment, you were this fast and this snarky. So people had a perception of you then. But I think we've all gotten older, I think that has softened a little bit because we're not.
Oh, I'm just as shitty at work now
No,
as I've
but
always
we
been.
realize that we don't run the world.
Right.
We
Oh,
don't know
right, right.
everything.
We're not invincible.
Right, we realize
who
all
run
that.
the world?
So I think
Girls.
over the years there have been a few times where I've crossed paths with somebody who we wound up talking and becoming, friends, and then all of a sudden it's the 4th or 5th or 20th drink in, and they're like, I never really liked you before, and here's why.
Yeah.
And then we've gotten past that and we've addressed whatever incident it was, and I may have remembered a situation or whatever, and then you talk them through that and they realize, okay, it was an isolated incident. I thought you were a jerk because of one thing,
Right.
not the litany of everything else you've done in the community or world or whatever.
Sure.
But I think because when I was younger, I was a much bigger smartass than I am now, and I am a pretty good one now.
Yeah, I was just saying, I don't think I've lost any of my smart-assness.
No, but
But I think-
but I
it's
think you
different.
temper it a
Yeah.
little. You read your audiences better.
Oh, yeah, in high school I probably did a couple more cruel things. But
Right, but I mean, you're
In your 30s.
You read your audience different now. I would think.
No, I was good to the new gays. I was a
Well, you were their leader for
Yeah,
Christ's
right.
sake.
I was a port in the storm for the
Yeah.
newly out and
Sure.
just found this little
Cut to Al in a
little bar
white
and-
powdered wig with a stethoscope.
So see my mad scientist
Yeah.
face. You knew I had that.
And I don't know when you're saying like if I were to find that out, I would just look up if somebody were to be like, oh, I just thought you were always on, or I just thought this and that. I would just start laughing and be like, you just need to pay closer attention.
Right. I mean,
Because there's a persona that I think everybody puts on when they walk out the door.
Oh, right.
You
right.
know, I remember someone that I was dating that that was back at the house. Like we were just at the house, we're just sitting there, and I'm just watching TV.
You're
or
at home,
cleaning.
Marnie.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm just cleaning or watching TV, just hanging out, whatever. But I'm not on. Because I don't have to be.
Right.
And especially not with the person that you're
Right.
with. But that person, because it wasn't a real close relationship, couldn't figure out why. Well, I like the funny Marnie.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah, no.
I like the one that,
Right.
like this isn't fun.
I think we've all been down that road.
Sure. And I'm like,
yeah.
well,
Yeah.
well, you can get out of my house.
Yeah.
please.
What
I'll
are
be nice.
my favorite was, what are we gonna do today? Well, I'm gonna lay here and watch TV, and there are no guarantees I'm gonna stay awake for the bulk of it. So
Entertain yourself.
Yeah, right.
You
to
gotta-
entertain you.
yeah,
No.
that's
Like,
not
what?
a. Let me look through the list of things I'm doing today. Oh
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
entertaining you wasn't on there.
Right,
Nope.
right.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck
no,
you.
that's completely fair.
Did you already answer?
I didn't.
Would you
Okay.
like to?
Because I don't think that I want people to see past what I'm putting out there.
Oh, that's fair too.
I don't want you in.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
I'm still on that boat.
yeah, I don't want you that far in for the most part. And it's funny that you bring up the difference between like out and about you and home you, because home me is not very, very, very much fun.
You're yelling at kids and making shirts.
Yelling at kids and fucking making shirts.
Yep.
No, and it kind of cracks me up because I think about it sometimes, and I think, especially in the context of Sharon, I'm like, first of all, like, me at home is no kind of fun. I don't know what the fuck you're doing here. Because she definitely doesn't like Kat Carlson. Like, she does not like when we're out and about.
Hey,
and
Kat,
there's,
yeah.
Right, and
Oh.
she does not like when we're out and about and there's a million people that she doesn't know.
Sure.
And she's very, very, like, kind of passive-aggressively vocal about that. She's
Okay.
like, well, I don't know who that is, and you've never talked about it. I know a million fucking people.
Right, I'm
You
a
think I'm going
bartender.
to talk about all of
Right.
them?
Yeah.
Settle
Also,
down.
they're unimportant, so that's why I
Right.
probably haven't
If
brought 'em up.
they're important to me, I'm going to introduce you. Or if,
Right.
at the very least, if I remember their name,
Right.
I will
Right.
introduce you.
Right.
I'll make introductions and
Yeah.
try to get us out of
Right.
this social
Right.
situation.
Right.
I'll say I need cheese or a drink refill. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, there's
Oh,
a way.
jeez, I
Yeah.
love
The
Cheese
farmer
stands
in
alone.
the
There's-
bell, the farmer.
You missed
in the
that.
bell. No, I heard it. I
Okay.
was out there. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Sorry.
there.
I went through
I
all of
heard
it.
that. So,
But
and I-
for the most part, I don't want a whole lot of people in. And even my partner, I don't want like super far in, and that's a whole cause of a whole other
Sure,
thing.
sure.
But like, there's a big fucking wall, and everybody just stay
Yeah.
the fuck out. This is what I put out there, and this is what you get, and go fuck yourselves if you want something else.
Well, and the interesting when you talk about
emotionally
Join us next
unavailable
week.
is
Right.
what I've been called
Okay.
repeatedly.
Join us next week when our new co-host will be.
Kat, Clayton, Marnie, and not Al because
Nobody
Kat
told me
killed him,
intimacy
you
was
know?
part of this
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
I'm out.
so
Well, but even when you and if
Show me on
I
the doll.
may,
Yeah.
with my mom, right, where she would even get to the point, because she was always with me when we would go out and do things, and you're going. So she was used to that, Marnie. And then I'd be at home and I'd be like, why the fuck is that, or bitching or piss, like, that's really all I do.
Yeah.
But I'd be
right,
doing
but why,
that.
why aren't you trying to please? Yeah.
Right. Well, and not even just that, but like looking hurt, looking
Oh, right.
disappointed,
Something
looking
does
like
bother
I'm
you.
being personally, taking it as a personal affront. I don't mean to be rude, and especially to my mother, but fuck you.
Right, and because
And that's to whomever, 'cause that's not- it's not about you.
That's the trying too hard to please everybody
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
Who now? Oh wait, you're the person that when you just say, "Oh, it doesn't matter, fuck over Marnie, she won't mind, she'll get over it,"
Yeah.
and then you're the person under the bus half the time or left out because she won't mind. She's
Right.
happy no matter what we do to her. Yeah, that's a
Yeah, that's
that's
kind
not
of
a that's not a good place to be, and that's
Kinda
why yeah,
fair.
huh?
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're the one
Yeah,
that's always trying to
like,
make people
meh.
happy, then no one's gonna worry because she's
Yeah.
she's fine.
She's out running an errand for somebody else.
So I think the common denominator is, and what I would say is the answer is communication, opening up,
Right.
telling people what you really right.
gonna-
And
not
if you
gonna do
don't,
it.
want to, if
Not
you want
gonna
if
to,
you
do it.
want to,
Yeah.
if you're bothered by there being a different person to the rest of the world than the person that's inside, then you get to know them. And just at this thing. With my mom, there was a point where I was kind of mad at my family for not knowing more about me. I had reached this point where I was like working at the bar and had all these friends at the bar that were like family, and I had said something, and my mom was like, "Oh, I didn't realize that." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm like people that drink at the bar that I work at know more about me than you do." And she was like, "Well, then you have to tell me things that I need to know. I live on the other side of the country. I don't
Yeah.
interact with you. So if there's something important going on and you don't tell me, I can't react to something I've never heard. I don't know this. I can't have a reaction to it. You had a bad breakup. You didn't tell us you were seeing anybody. You didn't tell us about the breakup. You can't come to us and expect us to be sympathetic to something you didn't tell us about. Like, you're just home having fun. Like, you're sad? Like, what's that about?" And it was kind of eye-opening to be like, oh yeah, I guess if I don't tell people what's wrong or tell people what's going on, then I have no right to expect them to, like,
Yeah.
react differently. Or if I don't say, I'm having a shitty day here, people. Everybody, like, shut the fuck up.
Why aren't you listening to what I'm not saying?
Yeah. But I have to, and again, I have to say it out loud. Like, here's what I need from all you all. Distance and time.
Sure.
Or whatever that quote is from Marlon Brando.
Right. I have no idea.
Oh, it's what he says to Elaine Stritch. He wants distance and silence. Distance and silence. Because they slept together once, and then she wanted to see him again. He's like, nope, only need two things from you: distance and silence. So, and I think that's what it is. If there's someone out there that you think has the wrong perception, then you have to talk to them and find out like where it meets. Like,
right. Yeah, because if you don't tell them,
they won't know.
No.
I agree with what my mom put up there. You can't change what they think, but you can only believe in yourself and believe what you're putting. Hopefully, you believe that what you're putting out there is good.
But you can show them something about you that says, I actually do care about that. I'm sorry if I'm being cavalier.
And if you want to.
Yeah, if I'm putting on this brave face, but yeah.
Right, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's that.
Yeah. No.
Well, I think that was a good. That
Good
was
work,
good.
people.
That was
Good
actually
work.
thoughtful. That
Wow.
was really
Katie,
thoughtful.
Vale, Moyle, and Clayton.
Oh, my name's
Do I
just
have
the
to
same.
be Katie?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
She replaced a Katie. She can't be a Katie.
No. Oh, that's right.
She can't be a Catherine.
In my elder years, I could be a Catherine. I'm not old enough
Not yet, no.
Not
Soon.
yet. No.
I don't think you'll ever
Soon.
be. You're never
No,
gonna
I
be.
think about
there's
10
a
years.
T-shirt that I
Think
want to
so?
try to put in here, but it won't work. Damn it.
You'll figure it out.
No, I won't.
I like T-shirts.
Oh, my heaven's sakes
I have a
alive.
t-shirt you need to make.
Well,
that
thanks
was
a
a good
lot to
time.
everybody who's been playing along in the chat room. The chat room was very busy all evening. Thank you for that. It was fun. Good times for all.
And everybody that joined in, that was fantastic.
And all the ships at sea.
And Michael on YouTube and Bridget. And,
Yes, and
gosh.
Mexico.
Oh.
And
Mexico and
Iraq.
As we
Iraq,
wrap
yeah.
up tonight's show, let's leave you with this parting
Thanks,
thought.
Joe.
We will see you next Tuesday. Woo!
It's enough for today. Spicy's gonna go bye-bye right now. I need a big boy nap.